Hello and welcome to Roll For It, sBlackAgent's The Hungry Dead, Episode 4, which is, unfortunately, our finale. It's the final episode today. It's the end of the show. But we've still got the episode itself to look forward to, so we have that before we really have to get set about it. We're not quite done yet. We have the epic conclusion to come. We have a lot of announcements to get through today, and a couple different interesting things that are coming up. So today's supporter is Paul Toon. Thank you very much, Paul Toon, for supporting today's episode at Legend Tier. There's also a couple things out on the Patreon. We have the monthly recap is out for June that you can check out now. We have the character sheet for Pietro from our Dungeons & Dragons Ascension show, as he now requires a new character sheet for reasons that have occurred in the past few weeks. There's probably going to be some more stuff coming for Ascension as well, as there always is. Many character sheets, usually of things that are trying to kill us, that you can always check out. We're also sponsored by Roll20. We use Roll20 for all of our shows and all the games that we play, because it just makes sense. It's perfect for playing RPGs of all kinds of different varieties. They've got a vast library of character sheets that have been made by themselves and other people that you can use to just press a button and roll the thing you need, and just make things super easy. And you even get actual physical dice rolling on the screen. What more do you want? It makes noises too. We've never even considered alternatives. It's just so convenient, and it's only recently the sponsorship started, so that's how you know we mean it. It is genuinely our program of choice. Now we have some show stuff coming up. Tomorrow we have The Last Ditch, Season 2, of course. We have a new guest cast joining us for that episode, which consists of Unmade Gaming, Wandering DM, and Splattercat, who is returning after 5 years? 4 or 5. It's been a while. We're glad to have him return, of course, to Warhammer 40,000. What else could it be? So you can check that out tomorrow, and they'll be with us for the next 4 weeks. But that's the Sunday slot. How about the Saturday slot? Well, you may have noticed at the end of some of our streams recently, we've had a couple of interesting little broadcast interruptions going on, and I'm now going to show you the culmination of all of this and announce the next show on Saturdays.
A little different than all the rest. I quite old-fashioned, wear a hat, sometimes play chess.
That's right, we're finally doing an actual mage campaign instead of just 200 one-shots. We're finally doing a legitimate campaign running for multiple months, starting on Saturdays. Important thing to note, it's starting on Saturday the 14th of August. We are going to be taking a 2-week break on the Saturday slot, bear that in mind. So for the next 2 weeks there won't be anything on Saturdays, but then we will return with our mage campaign, and we'll be announcing more about that in the coming weeks as we get closer to the time. That's using the homebrew mashup system that E made, where he made Mage, but for World of Darkness 5th edition, because we couldn't wait for World of Darkness to make it. They haven't even worked out Werewolf yet. They're way behind on getting 5th edition Mage out. So we made our own, and now we're doing a campaign of it. So keep an eye out for that. And if you want to see what the Mage stuff is like, there are plenty of one-shots that we already did in past years that you can find sprinkled all over the YouTube channel, featuring various different people from Roll For It. Alright, that's the announcement. So let's talk about how you can support us. The way that you can support us continuing to do all this cool stuff that we do and bring cool new shows to you with lots of cool new people in them is via Patreon. We have a Patreon with a whole bunch of tiers on it that give you a whole bunch of different rewards, including but not limited to MP3s of all of our shows, after shows we record after every show. We talk about what happens in the show, character sheets, enemy character sheets, other GM secret things and campaign resources like maps and session plans and secret things that didn't happen, that kind of thing. You can vote in polls, you can submit names for NPCs, and you can watch the monthly recaps where the admins recap the month every month, funnily enough. which is why the June one comes out in July. We did once have someone very, very angry with us that he thought we were always a month late because we used to call them newsletters. So we had to rename them to recaps to demonstrate that he wasn't paying attention. You just say, every single month you're like late by weeks. I'm like, no, we have to. The month has to end for us to recap it.
It has to be done first.
We're not like a FIFA game where you do it like the year before. You're like, yeah, we know what football's gonna be like next year. Here's your game already. The month has to happen, and then we can talk about it. So that's what we do with those. You can also support an episode every month, and you can take part in a once-monthly game gemmed by a member of the Roll For It cast. We've got a couple of interesting games being run by our very own Grant and also Little Red Dot this month that are going to be happening very soon. You can also support us in other places as well, of course, if you prefer them to Patreon. You can do the Twitch things. You can drop us bits. They appear in the cup. They drop into the vampire maw there on the dice box, and you can do a physics with that. We like it when they start floating on the invisible edge of the cup, and then they're just kind of suspended in the middle of the screen. You can also give us tips. They appear on the screen, and read them out at the end of the show to thank you for being awesome and supporting the episode. And of course, you can become a Twitch subscriber, which gives you emotes and badges, and also gives you immediate access to the VODs. Normally we'd have to wait 24 hours for us to put those up on the YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, you can become a YouTube member over there, and that gives you emotes and badges as well. And being a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or Patreon supporter will give you access to our Discord, where you can check out a whole bunch of different rooms for a whole bunch of different shows. We got a lot of cast members wandering around in there and talking about the things. I'm currently desperately defending the actions of my character in Ascension as there continues to be significant amounts of fallout that we're facing. And there's also other rooms in there as well. There's a roleplay room. There's the rear guard for the last ditch, and occasionally other rear guard things pop up as well, like last week for Ascension. So all sorts of stuff to do in there. Also, occasionally people like to do all three of the things and then have as many different roles in the Discord as possible at once, which is always funny to watch. People like, and then people worked out that you could go beyond the Triforce. You could get the fourth and become a Nitro member, and then have 4 different roles. It is fun.
Unlimited access.
And of course, you can also support us just by being here, just by showing up and watching. You're already supporting the channel and everyone here, which we super appreciate. And of course, it helps even more when you press all the buttons, do the subscribings and the followings and all that kind of thing. And we also like to hear from you, so chat in the chat and comment in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. And we do try and read all of the comments that you post. So we appreciate hearing from you and seeing what you're enjoying about the shows. Speaking of enjoying the shows, I'll stop getting in the way of that, and we will hand over to Grant for the finale of sBlackAgent's The Hungry Dead.
Well, appreciate the introduction, and I'm excited to be back here for another edition of The Hungry Dead, our sBlackAgent's mini-series, this being the finale. Our agents have traveled across the globe, or at least Europe, starting their adventures in Paris investigating a framing, where they were being framed for an attempted arson and bombing. The party journeyed across the continent, visiting Istanbul, making their way to a super yacht in Barcelona where they were dressed like celebrities. Turns out maybe some of their covers are celebrity, world-class chefs and the like. Ashley's kind of a bit of a celebrity anyways, we've learned. Everyone knows her. They took the information that they found in Barcelona and ventured to the remnants of the Soviet Union and journeyed to Moscow and a small village of Norilsk, where they found an ancient Soviet science facility that was being used to create this world-ending virus. Turns out the vampires are seeking to slay 99% of the world's population, which has created a schism between the vampire factions. Before we get into today's session, why don't we go around and let the cast introduce who they are and the character they're playing today. And then our first scene is actually going to be reuniting with Jess, getting Jess caught up, and finding out what she's been up to while they've been jet setting across Europe. So we will go Jess, Rose, Sai, and then Ashley.
Hi, I'm Elf. I'm playing Jess Whitner. She is an explosives expert and slightly unstable but very friendly, kind of person. Apparently I've been doing something different. I don't know what it is, but I look forward to finding out.
Leaving it in the hands of the DM.
I'm muted, and I no longer muted. I'm very curious too. I hope Jess is safe. That's all.
I just been blowing stuff up. It's fine.
I mean, technically, putting something in the microwave is nuking it, so you know.
Lord.
I'm terrible. I'm a terrible human being. Hi.
Don't nuke things in the microwave.
My name is Noon Willie. But you can call me Whirl. My pronouns are he, him, and today I'm playing Feroz Imansakariak. He's got a lot of names and a lot of covers, but really he's just the SIS man of the group, because someone really did have to be the spy. He's got secrets that are gonna blow up in his face. Perfectly normal. Sai, next.
It just clocks tick.
Oh my god. Hello everybody, I am KP, and I play the character Sai, who is a private eye well in above his head. He's done small cases, he does local cases, and now he's hopping across countries and fighting vampires and blowing stuff up with Jess and doing all sorts of manner of shenanigans, getting drunk on $800 alcohol, which he's never had before and he's been super happy about. Yeah, here he is, trying to do the best he can.
And hello, I am Blythe. I'm playing Ashley, the podcaster. Not an actual spy, but seems to be pretty good at spying. Yeah, everyone found out that her family is famous for making microphone technology, so she's also super rich, and she dressed them up to the nines. And we, I think, made a little backstory that Feroz's chef personality has been on her podcast before. Because his chef personality is famous and has a reality show and everything. Very excited.
That feel when you don't recognize your coworker.
Yeah, she also may have gotten a little smoochy from a vampire lady, so that was fun. And they may or may not still be texting, so.
Well, 1 second. I'm allowing everyone to know it's like, hey, my phone's supposed to be off. Sorry, I'm going to ignore you for the next 6 hours. Oops. Sorry. It is now gone. So let's start with a scene where anyone can opt into the scene if you want to be there or you want to participate, but it's going to be reconnecting with Jess before traveling to Greece. You do have a safe house of sorts set up. There's a villa in the Plaka neighborhood, which is a historic neighborhood near the Acropolis. I'll post in the Discord a photo of how it looks at night, and so you can kind of see it's just beautifully preserved for, thousands of years. They've done a wonderful job to take care of these historic neighborhoods. And essentially it's going to be getting Jess caught up and then making our way to Greece. And then there will be some new leads in Greece. I can tell you this much. Based on the traffic analysis that Sai performed last session, the helicopters and mercenaries at the end were not Russian. They were Greek mercenaries. So they were coming, myrmidons from across. And so they were returning to headquarters, and you were able to track that was their movements going back to report their failure. So let's set this scene in a haven. Okay. This haven is going to be a safe house where you can meet before headed to Greece. in, we will say, Barcelona, because we know that Sai had done a pit stop there. So what we'll do is we're in Spain. There's not a high amount of heat. Spain's probably the safest country for y'all to travel through at this point, because you were simply celebrities on a yacht, and then went to Russia immediately. So you're currently in a city apartment, and you will collect chess. So let's play that scene out. And the goal here is to essentially figure out what exactly does Feroz know about chess, and then your first plans when you do get to Greece.
So, just for a little context, that's a statement that's like, know about me what? Like, should I know what
we got to
I've
figure
done
that
or
out.
something?
We got to get on the same page.
Okay, all right.
What would I possibly know?
About me? I imagine Jess has a sordid history of all sorts of like horrible things that she's been involved with or done in the past. Like, I characterized her as being part of like a PMC, basically, like for most of her career. So
What's a PMC?
a private military corporation, like a mercenary company.
Mercenary, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Badass.
So I imagine if you I don't know if Jess Whitner is the name she used when she was doing that stuff, you know, like, because you run a Google search on someone who's been involved in horrible stuff, and you know, it's like, you don't want that to come up every time. But yeah, she's a sordid history. I'm open to whatever if there's like an idea that you have.
I may have an idea or two, but it's really, I think I'm about to sneeze. Dust. Really, what Feroz said was that he knew how you got burned.
Okay.
Sat everyone down and was like, I know how it happened. So if anyone wants to react before I actually say, while I figure what exactly I was trying to say, feel free.
I think like when they finally catch up with Jess, I feel like just because of the relationship that Sai and Jess have had up till this point, he's just super glad to see her safe. And he's, you know, things could happen when you split up from the group. You never know what could go down. And I'm not sure if Jess is comfortable with this, but like he would go in for like a hug or like a fist bump of some sort.
Oh
Just
yeah,
like,
she's totally fine with that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, she hugs you back. Like, yeah, it's good. I'm glad you're also not dead. You know?
Glad to see all your fingers are all intact.
Well, you know, I've been doing my version of lying low while you've been doing, you know, whatever it is you've been doing. So if you see anything on the news, it wasn't me. Okay.
Noted. And you and lying low just are practically synonyms, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's how I got my identity stolen. Definitely lying low.
And it's just, I think, like, yeah, they're just having that playful banter at that point.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I think Jess is happy to like see everybody, make sure that everybody's okay. If people are actually here, other than Sai, I don't know what the scene set is looking like.
And like, definitely, like at that point, he goes, I saved a little something for you. And then he pulls out a little flask. He's like, that right there, my friend, is $800 worth of alcohol.
Nice.
Full face and all.
Okay, you've been getting fancy while I've been away.
Hey, moving up in the world, as they say. And he kind of like nudges it to you, like, go ahead and take a sip.
She takes the flask and, like, you know, has a swig of it, like waits a moment before she like swallows, says, pretty good. I mean, $800, I don't know, it'll get you drunk as the next thing, but like it's pretty good.
True. I think it's more of just the, you know, that feeling.
Yeah, the feeling of drinking $800. Yeah.
On another person's tab, mind you. I mean, if I bought that, I would have my heart break. But I didn't pay for it, so there you go.
Fair enough. I mean, thanks for thinking of me. I suppose.
Yeah, of course. You missed
Uh,
out, so I wanted to bring a little back from our last
So
adventure for you.
um werewolf. Your scene where you're like, I know how she got burned. I assume that's not. I'm not there for that. You know what I mean? Like that. That is like the cliffhanger ending of the previous episode. So like
That's
this
true.
is this
It-
is
it-
like a flash forward or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know
It-
like something going on. I don't.
What'll happen is we'll just never address it. And we'll just have the whole group come in and give Jess a group hug and like a pat on the head.
It's like, oh, you poor thing. Kind of like we all know, you poor thing. Oh no.
Like gift baskets and Amazon
mean,
gift cards. Or
I mean, if you need like a, and I mean, I'm sure you have an idea or like a theory, and I'm open to whatever. But I think it would be pretty easy, for her to have at a previous time had like some employment history with any of these like weird vampire factions without knowing it, or things like that. You know, her job previous to being a vampire hunter it is veiled in secrecy, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of like shells and you know like fake documents and that sort of thing. So I imagine it would be easy for her to like miss something like that.
It's I think for us actually, like, having told the rest of the group already, so if you don't mind, could I have a moment?
With me?
Yeah.
Sure. I like step off to the side with Foros.
I told the others already, but I know how you got burned. At least I think I did.
You do? I'm not sure I know, so.
When you're desperate to get out of a bad situation, you'll do anything. Especially when you realize how bad the situation is and that there are blood-sucking parasites coming out to get you. So when there's a secret faction in your agency that says, find us some people that would be great scapegoats. Well, I'll be honest, I don't want to be doing this job anymore. This is supposed to be the last one, which is the reason why I got burned too. So, I just want to say I'm sorry.
You know, someone always takes the blame. And, it's not always the person that should. But, I mean, we're gonna handle this. And whatever, you know, whatever nonsense is going on is gonna be set right, or at least, you know, avenged. It works for me, too. We blew up a whole underground church full of vampire cultists and vampires last time we were, you know, in proximity. I don't think we need to worry too much about, like, my reputation after this so much as, getting it done, you know? We'll worry about that when we get there. You know, all this stuff is always lies and cover-ups, and it's the whole job. It's like 90% of what we do around here.
I mean, you're right. Of course, you're right, but for me, it's never made it easier. I got in after college thinking, well, at least it was a job, and suddenly I've been running away from this or that, making excuses for bad actions. I have a kid now. I can't keep on doing this.
I feel you. I mean, not on the kid thing. I've always kind of been more of a solo operator. But, you know, we'll make sure you make it back. This is the last one, like you said. No sweat, no problems. And, you're not the only one who has regrets. Don't worry about that. Like, I think at least I, you know. Not a whole lot of places a person with my particular skill set can get work that feels good. You know what I mean?
You do know what happens when one of the people say, "Hey, this is the one where I retire," right?
Yeah, but that would be way too cliched, you know, to be true, right? When they say they're getting too old for this, you know, it'll be fine. It's all good.
I hope you're right. I really do. Regardless, I do owe you an apology. I owe everyone an apology, and I have apologized, but you were the one who got it the worst, so.
Sure, I was just pissed that my credit card was charged so many times.
I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure they can refund you for that.
Yeah. No, probably. But I haven't really had time to, like, call the company. I've been kind of busy with this whole...
Being chased
like,
by vampires thing.
Yeah, the, like, thing that we thought was definitely real that is real, and that, I'm still kind of working through that whole, reveal.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. On the plus side, you're not dead yet.
I don't plan to be dead anytime soon either.
Good luck.
Yeah, well, luck is one way. I prefer skill personally. It says Jess, like, hands in her, like, ratty army coat pockets, you know, like, just kind of, like, overly supremely confident for no reason.
Just keep blowing things up. I'm sure that'll solve everything.
Listen, you need something dealt with. I can deal with it.
Right.
Leave the finding things out to you and them. Like, points vaguely towards the other part, the other.
Oh, no. All Ashley's job. I'm just gonna look at it.
She is pretty good at it. Yeah.
Speaking of which, probably should tell you that we're heading to Athens next.
Ooh, the Big Olive.
Do they call it that? Is that a thing?
That it is now. Headed to the Big Olive. It's great having Elf back.
Yeah.
That was a good intro.
You're not wrong.
No, you're not.
I stole that from Hercules, just so you know, everyone.
That's really good
I
call.
haven't seen that movie in like 20 years. I forgot how many years pass.
And it's Thebes in Hercules. I just don't want to take credit for a joke that isn't.
Just be funny. It's okay. Just roll with it. We didn't have to.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, roll with it or roll
The deep
for
lore.
it? I'm so sorry.
Oh, dear.
Hey!
Hey.
They're never gonna invite me back.
That's the title of the show. Ring the bell. Like,
Ding ding.
I mean, I saw a couple cringes at my DM earlier while Bentham was talking when he episode 4. Also, unfortunately, and all I could think was unfortunate.
Fortunately.
It doesn't. The joke only works typed down.
Yo, hold up, I'll put it in the chat.
No.
Yeah. This is great. It is actually at that point that Ashley, you are getting messages from Ariadna from Greece. They're actually beautifully shot selfies in front of the villa that her father owns, which is also there's might be some things hidden in the photo as well that upon careful inspection might reveal some more information about the villa. If anyone wants to, if you want to share it or use any investigative.
I mean, I'm busy deep in my conversation with Feroz, so I
What's a good investigative skill here?
Either architecture or let me give you more information. There are strange markings on the outside of the building that are not Greek characters. You know, it's symbols of a different sort, letter forms of a different sort. Okay. You cross-reference the symbology with your database, and these are, they look like runes to try to keep a ghost or a spirit within the house. Not like keep the spirit or the creature a prisoner, but it will invite it. It will kind of draw a spirit to that area, and it will want to dwell there. So it's almost like a welcome mat, except, for ghosts.
A welcome mat for ghosts. Okay.
They sell everything on eBay.
They sell a $7,000 Cheez-It, so I would believe there's a welcome mat for ghosts.
That tweet. 4 cheeses. Used.
The weirdest thing I came across. Okay, so this house is welcoming the ghosts in, or spirits, or vampires.
I have a concern about that.
Sure, there are many concerns we should all have about that.
I can think of a solution for it, but, you probably missed me over the past, little adventure, and probably know what my solution is, though.
They did do some blowing up without you. They wanted to make you proud. They worked really hard on their explosives.
We were inspired.
I respect that.
Yeah, it was great. The rigging the
It was more like-
explosives.
I would argue it was more, straight up desperation, but yeah, sure, we missed you.
Yeah.
We did. We were like, this is in honor of Jess as we blew up a secret slow motion fire.
So welcoming ghosts and vampires in seems bad.
I
I'd
mean,
argue that, yeah, that seems fair.
I could probably make some, counter charms, but unless we have, an actual ghostly experience, I think we'll be fine.
You've also proven that you can exorcise a ghost from existence.
I can also, I mean, yeah, I turned to Feroz and Sai and Jess, you weren't there, but I did exorcise a ghost from existence, a really evil ghost.
Neat.
Yeah.
You really think we won't be fine in there with me? Come on.
No, now I'm supremely confident. We can go right in. No problem.
So
If
we're going
you're not only a famous podcaster, but also a talented exorcist, I like our chances.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
Oh, no, I'm just totally genuine.
There's a lot you learn when you do podcasts about the occult, and, I had an exorcist on, and he taught me everything I know.
No, I just never figured that it would be that comprehensive, but that is an underestimation of your skills, and I apologize for thinking that in my brain.
I just really like to learn new things and new skills. And I just, I've always seemed to just pick them up like that. She probably has severe ADHD.
Today
Learn new
moves.
skills a lot.
Yes. He's like, no, just ignore the fact that I have half-painted things in my house that I started and haven't finished yet.
That's a mood. We'll take that. You now have a little bit more information. There may be some ghosty things, definitely some occult activities going on with the house, the villa that she's staying out in the Plaka neighborhood beneath the Acropolis. With that said, is there any additional investigation that you want to do before or once you're in Greece, either scoping out the house, trying to find out other things in the area? But we will start our first scene at the house. It's just you'll have an opportunity to prepare yourself rather than just throw you into the scene straightways.
I mean, Ashley will start doing some research on the house itself and just general what are there murder stories about it, or is it just relatively calm? Is there suspicious news stories we should know before going in?
Okay.
The murder.
Do any of you have Streetwise?
I think I do as well. Let me just check.
Absolutely, I have Streetwise.
Oh, I do.
I do. The one.
Everyone's got it. Which of you would like to talk with the locals?
Ooh. I feel like so this is what I was gonna start doing, and I feel like this might tie into multiple things that I wanted to do in the meantime. So as part of my usual activities before going into another city and just trying to research about it. So one of the things that Sai would always do is check out the traffic, check out the city layout, make sure that he understands all of the entries and exits and ways we can escape and ensure our team's safety. And I think part of that is going to be talking to locals and finding out, because sometimes maps, yeah, they're efficient, but they might not show, like Google Maps might not be the most reliable all the time. So knowing, some shortcuts through the locals, that's how he starts. And he kind of just starts, trying to understand what's happening, like the local area, get a lay of the land.
Yeah.
So like for that reason, I also put down, like, I was like, I need urban survival. So I'm so glad we got those 2 points, because I was like, I'm going to put that there. Need it. So
here's what the Streetwise gets you. You're talking to people, and some people, it's almost like a touristy thing. There's a lot of stories about that via that people are talking about. Some of them are folk tales, and that is the actual place where the story happened, according to the locals. Some are talking about ghosts that haunt that area, that reside within that building, but they're just stories. But if you want, you can buy this Ghost Ward medallion. It is fairly priced. In fact, I'll give it to you for a donation. And then other people talk about more sinister monsters that once lived in the Via. It was, there are monsters that lived inside, monsters that are different than any human. They are a certain, Orco, a spirit from the underworld that might be there. So those are the things that you learn with your Streetwise. So you do learn your way around town. There's a lot of unrest. Like, by unrest, like this is a region of conflict. There have been many riots in recent years here in Athens. There's political upheaval. There are routinely people demonstrating, and this is with that said, the Plaka neighborhood is relatively peaceful, but you've seen some folks that probably you would rather not want around town. There's literal neo-Nazis and stuff like that live in Athens, and
who that?
Yeah, so you've learned these things, but there are definitely stories of the house.
Got it. Yeah. So the other thing, sorry, I don't know if Ashley, are you done with what you were planning on doing? By the way.
Did I find anything from researching, or was that all the Streetwise?
Everything that I gave you was Streetwise. Now, a little bit more research. You noticed. Go ahead.
Oh, just go. No, good.
The only other information that I can give you would be once you actually go to the house itself. There is a notice spin will give you some information about the house, and then you might have some investigative abilities that apply.
Okay.
So, the house itself, that it is covered in high-tech equipment. Like when you see it, it was kind of positioned like this is a historic neighborhood. It is just to the nines. It's definitely a hub of communication for the conspiracy. Knowing Ariadna, she is a dissident. She is not a loyalist. She is not fanatic. Her father is a dissident as well. So those that stay here are trying to stop the conspiracy. Unlikely allies, if you will. There's a plaque. What's that?
The enemy of my enemy.
That's what one of the encounters is called here. They're like, the enemy of my enemy, and it's referring to this building. They're like, the enemy of my enemy.
Can a girl do some digital intrusion on this house?
Ooh, absolutely. Ooh. So here's what you know.
Do I have to spend the point?
You don't have to spend the point, just having the abilities enough. So, you know that everyone who lives here, essentially they're almost monastic in their lifestyle, but they're not monks. This isn't like the monastery in Istanbul. However, each of them do have access to the Monastery of St. Anthony, which is a religious building out of the way in town. So that is where they go for worship. The next thing that you know as well is that's all you get for the digital intrusion, but I will say that there is a plaque that depicts a goddess of some sort. So you'll need a different investigative ability to discern exactly who or what this plaque represents.
History.
I'm like, occult, vampirology, history, art.
Okay.
Which one?
All right. So here's what you get with the occult. So
Shot in the dark, military science.
Hear me
This
out.
is-
Hear me out. Flirting.
you flirt with the plaque.
With
Hey. It winks back at you. So this is not an original piece made by someone locally. This was brought in and assigned, and this is very much conspiracy symbology. This belongs to those that are loyal to the vampires. It depicts the goddess Melino, which is one of the daughters of Persephone, associated with madness and the underworld. So there is a plaque. Your suspicion would be either she's frequents here from time to time, or maybe she lives here. It's hard to tell.
Like, the goddess lives here?
Yeah, you've met a couple of those this campaign. You have to go in to find out. With that said, I'm going to need a sense trouble from whoever wants to make the check. Just one person.
I shall take upon this role proudly.
Get it, Feroz.
I'm going to spend 2 points. Give me a second, because I thought I was in the roll 20, and it says I'm not. Let me just quickly fix that. Right. That's a 5.
5's good enough. There is trouble brewing in the area.
Great.
You see that the same group of black cars have gone around this block a few times. You recognize the dress of someone in one of the cars. They're dressed very similarly to the monks in Turkey, but there's only one monk among them. The rest of the folks, 4 of them are skinheads, and then there's 3 other people who they're just wearing black, and they look of all different sorts.
I would like to roll a preparedness check to see if I brought some spikes for the street we can use.
Sure. It'll be a difficulty 4.
I think I'll spend 1 point for my preparedness. You know, keep it interesting. Not royal. Roll 1d6 plus 1. I definitely did.
You got it.
I wait for them to start their circle around, and I roll out a bunch of spikes. We should get going unless we really want them to get angry at us.
Question is,
Good idea.
do you want to go into the Via, or do you want to hide somewhere else in town? You were invited to the Via. Ariadna had requested your meeting.
I mean, Ashley definitely wants to go inside at least, but we have been, we are.
I'm
Ashley,
up for accepting an invitation for sure.
Yeah, we're allies here. If you want to go on your hot date, we'll support you, mate.
you know, also, it's a nice place to stay and probably better than whatever weird, unless we get a really fancy hotel, it might be like better than whatever weird motel we end up in.
I mean, let me just check my list of addresses. Pretty sure that was just a ditch. That one's a
Can I,
seal crate.
So I mean, like part of
I don't even
Part of-
have a list of addresses for Athens.
I mean, part of the reason why Sai goes around is to find places like that where the team could stay. Could that have been a part of it? That Sai would know some of the good places, some of the secure places that we can pull up in
You
together.
If you need a place to hide, go ahead and essentially it's your urban survival spend.
Yes.
You have a place that if you need to go and everything goes down, you have a place you can go to outside of the usual suspects.
Yeah. So, do you want me to roll for it, or
No rolls required because it's an investigative ability. You just know it's like, hey, we've got a place we can stay.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you ended up having a long conversation. You ended up sharing some food, and then next thing you know, over coffee, they're like, if you need a place to stay, and you're just like, well, thank you so much.
how kind? Thank
And then you agreed, and they're like, well, we'll invoice you afterwards.
Yeah.
There's a Benjamin check. Roll the credits. Roll for it. You need to roll for it.
Insert flashback.
I want you all to roll for it. So inside, Ariadna, she's dressed excellently, and she has a bit of a glow about her. There are 4 individuals there wearing black robes. They're just wearing robes, and they seem a little anxious. Ariadna looks like she's nervous, but she's probably more nervous about seeing Ashley again than anything else that comes her way. I know. It's been a while, so you are invited in. And what do you do? So they have like food prepared. They have beverages, anything that you could want. You're their guest. Her father is busy, is the impression she gives. Bless you.
As with any well-dressed, rather, like well-presented place, Jess looks a little bit like she shouldn't be there. She's happy to just like pick through the the food that's laid out and like eat whatever is available. Just kind of like keeping an eye out, watching for what everybody else is up to.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley is dressed. She looks like Mamma Mia, but make it fashion. That's the best I got. But no, she's like very thankful, and she goes over and probably grabs a drink and some food and does a like slight test. She's like, I don't think she's going to poison me, but like,
No. It's one of those things. Everyone's drinking. There's no poison. I mean, and one of the robes, even though Jess might look a little dressed down, one of the guys in robes is like, I like your cargo shorts. Not that you're wearing cargo shorts, but it's a look. So
it's like those pants that just have like 5,000 pockets, but are somehow like still kind of cool looking.
yeah, they're pretty useful. They're serving, chicken and peas. There's a Grecian cheesecake, and it's really quite delicious. With that said, Ariana says, so, we are putting together a plan. And at that point, there is banging on the door with bats. And they are trying to break in, and there is shouting. Gonna need initiative from everyone. The roll for to beat is 4. They're going on 4.
Oh no. Barely.
Hold up. What are we rolling for again?
No, call with an order.
Just roll a
in my
d6.
mouth.
We're rolling for initiative.
Gotcha.
Ashley is not good at fighting.
One.
I think players go first in a tie, so I think
Yeah.
Oh, come on!
2 before, 2 after. We're doing great, kids.
Yeah.
Hey.
And you do know, since you spotted the numbers, essentially there was the monk, 4 Nazis and then 4 Orphic cultists, So there's quite a bit of them. Now, you do have a number of people inside that can help.
All right. Am I going first?
Yes.
I mean, Ashley's first instinct would be to grab Ariana and like dive under a table because she can't fight. But then she would be looking, like, pull out her laptop and like see if she can use like some of this high tech around to maybe like create some kind of distraction at the very least. Because if it's a fairly high tech place, like maybe they could create an alarm, or
You could set off a noise alarm.
yeah, she's just gonna set off like a very loud alarm that might deter at least some people.
Yeah, it if anything is drawing attention to the house, so there's a chance cops might even come in because there's people breaking in, but no an alarm's going off. There might even be a private security system or security agency that has been summoned. So the alarms are going off. Let us pass to Werewolf. Rose's turn.
They're going to manage to break in, right? Like, let's just be honest about that.
Yeah.
So, I would like to place a tripwire behind the door that will cause a bomb to explode at the moment one of them does.
Yeah.
Let's do a preparedness for the bomb.
Yep. I'll spend 2 points for that. I'll spend 2 points for that one. You know what? I was gonna say
difficulty 4.
probably. I'll spend 1 point for that one. I'm sorry. I'm gonna roll a 3 or higher. There we go. We're good.
So you have. Go ahead and. So let me just double check your skills because this is going to be one of the general abilities. All
Explosive
these lubricants
devices?
are different. Yeah, explosive devices. So an explosive device is to rig and have it go off and to do it quickly. Also a difficulty 4.
I will spend 1 point, my only point of explosive devices for this. But there was no need because I got a 6 + 1 that makes it a 7. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah. So it's going to wreak havoc. Describe the type of explosion. This is a bomb. You're indoors.
Yeah, so I've rigged up a bunch of explosives right in the door jamb, but pointed, like I angled them all facing towards the door. So when someone tries to walk through, as the door opens, the door, which is in front of the explosives, is going to go off its hinges and hit people. The bomb itself is facing towards those people, so they're also going to get hit. And the person who walked through will likely be fine, but only that one person.
Roll a d6 and add 4 to it.
Yeah! This
Door
is
is opening.
1d6 + 4. That's only 6.
Yeah, but these are human beings. So, the 4 neo-Nazis with their bats are rocketed essentially by this explosive device and the bombs. It flies into them and explodes. They are all unconscious and singed, probably dead as their bodies are no longer moving. They just took a massive explosion to the face as they're getting in. Unexpected. Cult members are slowing down. One of them, the monk, pulls out a long knife and is preparing to go in. You notice he pulls out a long knife and then cuts his palm.
Oh, love that.
Gets a little colder in the room.
Love it when that happens.
Yes.
I will say this, because I set up the bomb, I'm the person who's probably in the best view, in the closest to the door. So.
Yes. You totally see that happen. And the cult members and the monk come in. Starts to smell in the room. It gets maybe 3 degrees colder. You can use Celsius or Fahrenheit. We're all different acclimated to temperatures. One's a bit more dramatic. The other's closer to me. But there's like a fragrance of fresh blossoms that are starting to come into the room as well. Sai, out of the corner of your eye, you see it's a haunting visage of a woman. She looks like she's waking up from a nap, she's wearing, a nightgown, and she moves with an almost otherworldly grace as she comes in. And it may have been that to this point we thought Ariadna was the most beautiful person in the world, but the beauty of this woman surpasses her.
Oh dear. Okay. Damn. So do I know, like, can I recognize what sort of a person? Is it a person, like, or like something else?
You have vampirology or occult studies?
I did put a point in vampirology, so yeah.
All right.
Because Sai's like, I'm in over my head. I need to understand what the F is going on, and started studying a little bit about vampires and things. And oh my god, I accidentally closed it. There we go. So yes, I do have 1 point in vampirology. And so yeah, that's what I put it into, is urban survival and vampirology is the 2 points.
Okay.
Stuff into. So
she is very, very, no rolls needed. It's an investigative ability. You're
that's
good.
Right.
Yeah. So you recall the plaque. Her silhouette is very, very similar to the goddess depicted on the plaque. But she looks like she's, kind of waking up from her nap, and kind of waves her hand, and the alarms go back off. And it almost looks like she's ready to go back into her room, just because she's like, listen, I'm trying to sleep. We don't need any of this. But you do know she is an Orphic vampire.
Okay.
Patterned after the goddess Melano, one of Persephone's daughters. So Melano would be her name.
I see. Okay. Oh my god.
Vampire.
Vampire. Sai is just so, like, he doesn't know, like, so he had, while everything is going on, like, just like Ashley, like, he like jumps behind a table and kind of just like props it up so that it kind of acts as a barricade, and has his gun pointed to the door. So when he sees this lady, and you said it looks like she's going back out, like she's leaving them alone, or is there a sense of threat?
She seems disinterested in everything that's going on.
Okay, so Sai kind of just, he eyes Burrows to kind of see what he should do, because he feels like if he shoots at her or does anything to provoke her, things are going to go south very quickly. So yeah, I think he kind of waits for a sort of like instructions or command, just because he's like, I'm a little in over my head here. What should I do? No?
Well, my move here is just to start fighting, basically. Okay. I have weapons, so I guess once the doors bust down, if there are more threats, the person who's like cut their hand or what have you, I'm immediately moving in with like a baton, basically, and trying to like take them down in close quarters.
Right.
Like the vampire, I don't know if I can like the Orphic vampire, I don't know if I can fight, but the mortal servants, definitely I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move in and do that.
You notice too, yeah, the one that cut his hand, and you can engage him. He's actually the old monk. You do notice that Melano's eyes kind of getting drawn to his hand. It looked like she's going to leave, and it was one of those things like, late night snack. It's one of those things where he's very clearly trying to draw them.
I'm figuring like if I can incapacitate this guy, then he's less likely to be able to like wave his hand around like, "Hey, vampires, come get it,"
Melano is like not on our side, right? Like we don't actually have to fight her.
She has no
no
skin in this game, literally speaking. In fact, you'll get some more information from it. So here's some of the things you're able to discern through your investigative abilities. The markings to invite a ghost lured Melano to the house. They've kept her here for probably a week, and they're trying to court her, and like Ariadna's dad is like, please bond with me, and she's like, no, I'm not really interested in bonding with anyone. I'm ancient. This is whatever. And but they already moved her plaque where it's like, Melano lives here now. And she's like, I guess the rent's free, but you all aren't really my crowd. The dissidents are suffering. And they're trying to recruit whatever vampire they can. So currently, they are luring what vampires they can get their hands on. However, tonight they're getting hit by the loyalists that are trying to get Melano out of the house.
All right. Well, do I need to roll a weapons or anything?
Yeah, so do a weapons. The difficulty's 4. Most difficulties are 4. Actually, this is 3 because the monk is older.
I will spend a single point.
Okay.
We're good.
All right.
Got a 5 plus 1.
Roll a d6 and just give me the numbers straight. Because you're
Sure.
This is going to be the damage.
I never remember how the damage works in this game.
It's always a d6 with plus or minus some numbers.
It's 6!
Woo! The old man goes unconscious. Just falls back. It's one of those things. I imagine it's twirl it in your hand, a flourish, and a good old crack upside the head, and he's out like a light. He's not that old, so it's one of those things. You can tell when you get a little closer.
I'm definitely not trying to kill him, right?
I know. I think about it. It's like, it's just someone that hasn't really taken care of himself. So he's described as the old monk, but he's like 37. Just busted. He's like, yeah, he's out like a light. So you've killed 4 neo-Nazis, knocked out the old monk, and there still are 4 more cult members. However, you have allies in the room.
I'm also, I'd like to say, like, I'm trying to position myself so that those 4 people that are still, like, coming at us I'm like prime target, basically. Like, because I guess I've, like, moved in, and I don't know if anybody else has, so.
Yeah. The 3 of the dissidents, these are Ariadne's pals, are moving in, and they are engaging the cultists. With that, it's essentially cleanup. Like, you all outnumber them, and you have a choice. You can capture them, kill them, drive them off. What would you like to do?
I mean, my personal plan is just to, like, beat them unconscious if I can. Like,
okay.
Like, damage as many of them as I can. I'm not really planning to kill them, but I don't think Jess is necessarily pulling her punches either. Like, you bust into a place with intent to harm, she's gonna harm back,
Before long, you all knock them unconscious. What do you want to do with their bodies when they're unconscious?
Tie them up.
They're tied up.
Yeah, I guess that's interrogation time.
You can, yeah. So, is there anything you want to do here while they're unconscious? They're probably going to be out for an hour or so.
Probably clean up.
Yeah.
Clean up the mess.
Try and get the door back on its frame if it's not completely shattered.
Get the power blitz cleaner to blow off the blast marks, clean the walls. This historic neighborhood. A little patch painting, a little spackle, a little bondo.
Look, when it comes between our lives and a door, I pick our lives, okay?
That's a good point.
No, I entirely agree with you. Doors second.
Yeah, I think we mostly just clean up, reset things, try and get the dead bodies and unconscious bodies somewhere else.
Yeah, Melano is kind of lurking about now. She hasn't really gone back to her room. She's kind of intrigued by this. She has some questions for you. She's like, "Oh, are you members of the cult?" And she describes it like that. And then she looks at like the dissidents there, and she goes, "It's not a bad word," because they're like, "Cult," and she's like, "Yeah." It's not a bad word.
I like Ashley's just like, she kind of looks at her. She's like, "We're allies. We're here to help, at least for a bit."
I feel like Jess is looking at everybody else like, "Are we part of the cult?" I don't.
What cover did we establish?
Looks at everyone, like looks at all, like, "We're allies."
Oh, Ariadna would assume you're a famous chef.
Mhm.
Sai, what was your cover at the party where you got all the expensive
date.
booze?
It
The
was
date. Ah, yes.
Name is Ashley +1.
And Jess's like the cousin, right? That's been invited to the Greek Via. So, yeah, like Ariadna is actually a little jealous of this interaction. She doesn't want Melano talking to Ashley.
Ashley's like, I don't have any intention of getting with a Greek goddess, but all at the same time in her mind, she's like, all of us? 3 of us?
A throuple?
Like, she's kind of like, I'm not, she's like, I'm not going for the Greek goddess, but like, if we were all interested, maybe.
I extend my arm to
Melano?
yeah, melanoma. I keep on wanting to say melanoma, but that's not the right
I
word.
don't know.
I extend my
I mean,
arm.
same root word for us.
It's true.
Same
It's true.
root word.
Maybe we should discuss it over there.
Yeah. She says, she's like, I'm game. Can we like sleep first?
I mean, of course, but
What time?
okay,
We've been on a plane for a long time. We could. I don't like. When was the last time we really rested?
we didn't.
Sleep might be exciting to know.
Yeah, Froze is definitely like not looking the greatest, but you know, still better than most. I mean, we could go to sleep, but I just want to apologize to my friends. They were a bit
Oh,
a bit
God.
nervous.
Does this mean Ashley still has like the potential of bursting open her bullet wound by accident? Because it's not healed all the way.
Oh god.
Like it's been less than a day, I think.
It's one of
Oh,
those.
no.
It's been some time because you've had to travel from. You actually had a few days in Moscow waiting for your pickup. You've had. It's okay to move the time frame. It's maybe 2 weeks later.
Okay.
However, Melano kind of, reaches towards your midriff. She's like, "What's this all about?" She knows you've been wounded.
Oh, she's like,
Yeah, she came.
some people in Spain shot me. It wasn't so super fun, but we got away. And she kind of looks at me
She's
more like dangerous life.
yeah. She's like, "Well, do you want it fixed?"
Fixed?
Yeah.
Yes. She's too curious not to. She's like, yes, I want to see what you're going to do.
Sure, what are you gonna do? Yeah.
She gently places her hand on you, where you were shot, and heals the wound. However, you are now bonded with Melano. She is your vampire now.
Oh crap.
However,
There's always a however.
No, I love that.
Ariadna is furious.
She wouldn't bond with the guy who runs the house, but she's like, no, I like you. Random podcast lady.
Ashley, you can't help how attractive you are. Okay, I'm sorry, but like,
It's that second belly button. It's like, oh, you were shot by a bullet? This is like a Capri Sun. You're the gift that keeps on giving, Bond. Yeah, so
I love you how you said Capri Sun, by the way.
Oh,
I mean-
God.
what is it like being a human juice box? Just question for you.
I mean, she didn't know what was going to happen, to be fair.
No,
like,
no.
no. And it's one of those things, like, Ariadna is no longer bonded with a vampire because Dad thought, I introduced you to this goddess. They just didn't click. It was one of those things. They just did not get along. Started arguing about K-pop bands they liked.
Just wasn't into it.
No. They got into a big anime debate that lasted for, 48 hours.
Melano, Neon Genesis Evangelion movies.
Oh my god.
Neon that doesn't.
Yeah. So Melano is currently bound to you, or rather, you are bonded.
Oops.
It's one of those things. There is something else that you and your party members get since she's bonded to you, and it's actually a mechanical effect.
Oh.
If you are in a plane crash or a shipwreck or an auto accident, you all are guaranteed to survive. It is Melano's blessing. So
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
but Melena's a vampire. We're not supposed to like vampires.
That is kind of counter to our whole deal. Yeah.
I mean, Ashley never said she disliked vampires.
This is
I
how
thought
we
it
break
was
up a
pretty.
team,
I
guys.
thought it was pretty clear when we detonated a whole church full of them that we didn't like them that much.
We didn't like conspiracy.
We didn't like what they were doing with the human population and tucking them into literally hell to bring out the god of hell.
they're doing what now? Melano's a bit confused by all this. Like, she's not up to date on anything. She spends most of her time just lying at the beach,
So
soaking
Ashley
in the waves.
Saturn is like, yeah, so these cultists, not these ones in this house, these are good ones. Some cultists decided to take it upon themselves to create a vampiric virus and are going to try to wipe out a lot of humanity with it. We're trying to stop that, but it's also been, there are some vampires who are okay with that and some who aren't. There's also
This
with-
plan, this plan in general doesn't seem like a great plan. And I say that only because what are vampires gonna do when 99% of humans are gone? What are they gonna eat?
It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but
There is
we-
some people.
some stuff.
I mean, it's supposed to kill 99% of the population. I think what the idea is that they gather up who survives and basically farms them like meat. At least that's what I'd do.
No,
if I was a
yeah,
blood-sucking vampire.
All right, yeah, I could see that being a plan. It just seems like a really bad plan, you know.
You have to remember that they don't always like each other, right? So if you limit the food population, you limit how much access your enemies get, so you can reduce their access.
Yeah, but
So-
what happens when the humans die?
Well, Athens has been more crowded, but I don't go out much. It doesn't bother me, as Melanos says. She doesn't even realize there's a world beyond Athens. She's literally just lived here for 3,000 years.
Ashley kind of looks at her. She's like, "There's like 7 billion people on this planet.
How many? I don't even understand the concept of that word.
How many people are in Greece?" Ashley pulls up her phone and Googles how many people alone live in Greece.
Let's look it up.
Because this is
Huh.
something.
Hang on, let me just Google how many.
Yeah, this is funny.
Yeah, I'm about
Welcome
10.72 million people in
to
Greece.
The Hungry Dead, the only game in which you need an almanac to understand everything.
She pulls out her phone and she's just like, yeah, there's like 10.7 million people approximately in Greece alone.
It
And
is
they're-
a bit more crowded.
99% of that. But that doesn't seem smart considering there's a lot of people, lots of easy ways to lay low and just feed and survive without actually disrupting anything. So I don't really understand what the vampires want here, or if the vampires want it. I don't know if this is just the cult doing it and vampires are just going along with it. Not entirely clear on that.
Well, I think there's probably multiple factors. First, I think the King of the Dead probably wants to have superior numbers. So being king of the dead, he would probably have dominion over more people. Petty, and it's a vanity metric, really, if you think about it, she says.
Also here in Greece.
He should be in hell. Who let him out?
Who let the dogs up? Sorry.
Who let the gods out?
Yay! There.
We tried to stop them, and we tried to stop it from happening, but the cultist over in where was that? That was in Istanbul. And
Yeah, that was in Istanbul.
the cultist opened the gates of hell and let him out. And we tried to stop it, and we stopped part of it, but then he told us he'd see us in Greece. So
Yeah, I was trying not to die by 1,000 vampire bites.
I mean, we did.
Yeah, I mean, you know, given the circumstances, I feel like we did okay.
I mean, Jess
And
did
we
great.
literally blew up the gates of hell.
Oh, yeah, she's tracking. She goes, "Oh, yes, you found a gate, a Plutonian. She's familiar with it. An Avernus."
Mhm.
She said, there was one here too, but it's sealed up long ago. She goes, maybe we should go to the church. Maybe they have answers. Are they our friends? These people were talking about some stuff, and she points at the cultists that were offended at her calling her cultists, because they're just kind of watching this whole interplay. They're like, Melano's actually talking to people? She's pretty stuck up. The people say, yeah, we were going to use her to get something before folks like this kind of point at the people you've tied up. At that point, they're starting to wake up again. So it's just like, oh no, you've got us.
But yeah, Ashley kind of turns to Ariadne and is like, yeah, there's like a lot we've been stopping on the way. But the King of the Dead was none we could not stop. So if the church
Giving
here
our best shot.
on our side.
She says the church, that's their eyrie. That is the vampires. If they are birds of prey, that is their high nest where they watch all things. Difficult to get to. Well guarded. But we were going to obtain a weapon before we went there. 2 of them. She kind of motions to Melano. We needed Melano to access, or rather, we needed her for security as we are about to access a dangerous endeavor. We were hoping maybe you'd come along.
I love dangerous endeavors.
Oh, joy.
So, what we need to do is we need to go to the island of Garos, and we need to collect some fruit. Pomegranate is that what it looks like, but it's actually far more useful. We need to collect these seeds of the goddess, and we can use them to, well, become like her. And they look at Melano. It's the only way, since our numbers are so few.
When you say become like her, how like though?
Well, Melano's like, they could never be like me, and then Ariana kind of like sticks her tongue out and we're like, shut up over there, gets a little catty. The seeds would grant us immortality, and we would become undying. I don't know if we would actually become vampiric like her, but if anything, we will become powerful like them. And at this point, we need to become powerful, especially if what you say is true. And the King of the Dead
Jess
is
just
true.
like looks to everybody else like, magic stuff? It's out of my league,
Ashley,
Don't look at me.
through some matter of a cult or something, can Ashley kind of have an idea of what she's talking about?
Yes. So there are legends of various foods and substances that could have what would be considered supernatural effects. What it seems to be, though, is that this is a natural occurring plant that would have an extreme consequence if it was ingested. They believe it'll make them immortal. One of the groggy fellas that you all knocked out, courtesy of Jess cracking them upside the head, is like, oh, no. That's not what the seeds are used for. They most certainly will not make you like her. They'll make you, well, kind of like that leftover chicken over there, and they kind of motion to the remnants of dinner.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust you, tied up monk.
Alexandros. He says, that's my name.
Yeah, I didn't ask for a formal introduction. Just smacks him across the face.
Look, pomegranates
Al.
are associated with life and fertility, but they're also never associated with good things when it comes to gods. Persephone gets locked up to Hades because of a pomegranate. A pomegranate is apparently what started the whole first sin of man to begin with, according to biblical lore. It's never good to go eat the pomegranate. The apple of the tree was more like a pomegranate, not an apple.
I mean, like, if we want to get into the semantics, just like, if we never ate, like, if nobody ever ate it, then human history would just be garden stuff, according to the...
Which, it's a fair
right?
point, but ultimately, what we're talking about here is usually the people doing the biting end up with really terrible side effects. Like, Captain Hal.
Melano kind of sidles up and he goes, doing the biting. Sorry, you got her interest.
Gotcha. All right. No, I am with you, but what I'm saying is, like, these things sometimes necessary to, like, move. But I'm not the magic expert. I'm not the eating magical fruit person. So, Ashley, it's kind of your call, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm guessing I get the vibe to not do it is probably the best answer. But I'm also now bound to a vampire, so. Ashley kind of looks at everyone. She's like, I would say there are other ways to go about this. We do have a living stake. We have weapons that can kill vampires. Like, we have abilities. Because it's not always about strength or numbers. It's about how smart you are about it. So we don't necessarily need to go get some supernatural fruit that may or may not do what you think it does. Because the reality is, if it doesn't do what you think it does, then we're worse off than we started.
Alexandros goes, she makes fair points. I can tell you we already got some of that fruit.
Oh, no.
Well, we didn't eat it because we don't want to end up like that chicken over there. And like the other cultists next to him was like, the chicken metaphor is not going to catch on, dude.
I'm so confused by this
Yeah,
chicken metaphor.
Jess is just gonna smack him again. Stop talking.
Like that. There's got to be one.
When I want to know cult stuff, I'll fucking ask you.
This is like, we're just gonna have to indoctrinate them to our side now, I guess. Yeah, Ashley kind of looks at everyone. She's like, I don't think it's a great idea. And we do have all those weapons that Sai took. And we had, like I said, we had the living stake. I don't know if that's something y'all have more of. Because that would be really helpful if you did. And she kind of bats her eyes at Ariadna like, sorry, I accidentally got bound into a vampire. I didn't know this would happen.
Unfriend, unfollow. Sorry. Blocked.
Romance over.
Soft block, you block. No. Hey, it's one of those things. There's always that chance for there's always that chance that she comes around as Ariadna saves you and Melano dramatically near the end, and you all sail into the sunset. We'll see. So Ariadna's thinking about it. She goes, we try to avoid the living stakes. They tend to, hurt folks like her at Melano. Melano's like, listen, I'm suffering a lot more than the living steak right now. She's kind of like, she can't eat the food, but she's just like intrigued by it. She's like, this looks like it was a delicious meal. I bet you had a wonderful party. Esther's just like, still debris. I imagine Sai's like still cleaning up or something, like trying to get the hard buffing out the like final stain. Elbow grease. So here's
just like go well beyond him. So he's just like, I'm just gonna listen.
She's like, living stakes hurt people like Melino, but they also hurt people like the King of the Dead. And so if you're gonna play with fire, you kind of have to have fire sometimes on your side.
I mean, guns hurt human beings. Doesn't stop them from having guns to hurt other bad human beings.
Yeah, but they don't like radiate pain when you hold
Fair
them.
point.
You know.
Also, I do wish we would, get a little stricter on guns, but that's a different conversation.
One of the
Jess looks like she's thoroughly against that idea.
Wait, are you all American?
I am, yeah.
What does the accent give off?
I mean, you're talking about being strict on guns, and I'm from Britain. We're pretty strict on guns.
Oh yeah, no, I'm.
The police don't have guns.
Yeah.
I have like 12 more, maybe.
I've got these right here, y'all. Sorry.
Yeah, the only guns I've got is right here.
I actually, I love my arms. They are strong. That's what most people say. The big arms. It's like, yeah, born with them. But sorry, chat. I didn't want to have to take you to the gun show, but America. You can tell that one of these invaders, one of these loyalists, who has noticed Alexander's getting slapped every time he speaks, appears that he has something to say, but he's afraid to speak because he doesn't want to get slapped. He's just going to give him that.
I'm gonna look over at him and I'm gonna use intimidation and be like, "Go on. I can see you got like a burning desire to say something."
He speaks up. He goes, since the stores of Mar VX were destroyed in Moscow, they are harvesting the pomegranates to create new substances. All the research was destroyed, but there was someone else who had a copy. Morgane Lecoeur from PRX Biogenetics.
There's that name again.
I'm to
That name
murder
just
her.
keeps popping up.
She didn't go willingly.
Ashley, you were saying?
Oh, I was jokingly out of character saying time to murder her.
Oh my god.
We probably should have done it a while ago.
So
Well-
she,
Go.
she is currently under threat of her bound vampire and is being forced against her will to perform these experiments.
I mean, she... I don't know what to say.
I mean, if she's in Greece, we find her and we take care of it. Again.
We can tell you where she
That
is.
sounds so ominous. We take care of it.
Is that not what we're going for?
At this
Oh,
point,
man.
care of it means blowing up buildings, so
Oh my god.
Good. I'm on the right page then. Yeah. That's what I figured.
We keep on using these excuses for her, but the fact is, we came across this woman in Paris, we came across this woman in Barcelona, and now here.
Say that she's integral to something.
I think we may have to consider.
I mean, if it's against her will, I mean, do we know that? Like, did she say that? Do we know that she's doing
These
this?
individuals say that she was taken against their wills.
Oh,
They
right,
say
right.
they don't have access to her. They're like, we are simple, can openers only. We didn't do a very good job of that tonight. We got our cans opened.
Once again with the same analogy. First it's a chicken, now it's a canopy. Are you guys hungry?
Well, there's food. There's looking over at it. There is a ship that is offshore called the Calypso, and that is where she is being held. It was a nice yacht, and that is where she is doing experiments. There's not a lot of people on the ship. However, there is a guardian, essentially, that keeps it safe.
Well, we should get some more gain, kill her vampire, I guess, or I don't know, do something there, and then get to this island and get this all to stop. And then get to the church and probably blow up a lot of vampires again.
All sounds like a great plan. I'm with you 100%.
Thing is,
Weapons.
I wouldn't want to kill vampires if they would just, chill out. But the fact they're trying to kill majority of humanity.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem,
Mm-hmm.
Like, she kind of looks at Melano. She's like, no offense to you, but they are doing a lot of bad.
She's like, she goes, yeah, we tend to do that from time to time. And she just kind of like yawns, and you can tell she's like, she needs to go lie down. She has exhausted herself staying up and socializing. So she's just like, I need to go take a nap.
Go grab your rest.
Well, that's the first time I've ever seen an introverted vampire.
Ashley's like, and she bound herself to an extrovert. Oops.
It's going to be interesting.
Odd couple. So at this point, you have a couple leads. So you know that there's an island with these pomegranate seeds, and these dissidents want to go there and claim them. You also know that some of the seeds were already taken off the island in Morgaine Liqueur. You would have to track down the Calypso vessel. You could deal with her as well. You also know that there is the monastery itself. Which lead do you want to follow first?
Probably not the monastery? I don't know.
I mean, I think the fruit is the way to go first. If they're like harvesting it and stuff, then we should go there, right?
Burn their orchards.
Yeah, exactly.
All
There's only
right.
one specific place in the world to get magical vampire fruit, then we should blow that place up.
Sounds like a plan.
And I turned to the one who was talking. Where's your stash, huh?
It's beneath my nostrils, but hey!
That took a second,
mustache.
and then I was like,
I'm dead.
that mustache you
Don't
just
hit him.
dropped.
I like crouch down to his level, look him directly in the eyes, and say, "Where is it?" Simple question, and it's the thing between you and death.
You can tell he's speaking honestly. He goes, I don't have anything.
Didn't you just say that you already collected some?
Well, we as an organization.
Where is it?
Oh, it's on the Calypso. He's telling the truth. They had to give those things so Morgaine Liqueur can turn it into MarVX.
All signs seem to be pointing to one spot.
There might be some more up in the area, but outside of that, it would stay on the island. In fact, there was talk about, this is a powerful substance. They're not completely wrong over there. Those apostates, and then the cult members, Ariadne's friends, kind of stick their tongues out at the loyalists. Like, they're just like, you could probably achieve immortality with it, but at a great cost. And to be honest, I'm just trying to pay my rent from month to month, and we kind of split it 4 ways.
Mortality at a great cost, huh? Interesting.
Well, to live in the shadows, out of the sun, for however long.
That immortality, so probably forever.
Look, the Calypso is probably going to be the most. We start at the Eyrie, then work our way to the Calypso, and then we end with the Monastery.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm down for that.
the monastery is the area. So island, ship, and then the area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, island, ship, Eyrie, yeah.
Okay.
Brain's not working.
So you're you know the name of the island. How do you want to get out there? Do you want to take a boat? Are you going to try to fly in? Are you going to try to steal away?
I mean, I feel like, considering I do know how to fly a plane, we might as well take a plane, right?
Hell yeah.
Sounds good.
So, time to call one of your SIS friends, or you can steal one.
Yeah, I'll steal one. Why not? You know.
Yeah, just yoink a little plane off of an airfield somewhere.
It's not it's not uncommon because you're in, like, say, the Adriatic. So Porco Rosso, you get to take one of those seaplanes, become a bounty hunting pig. Sorry, it's my favorite movie. Describe the methodology you want to use to steal the plane.
That's a good question. I think it's as simple as getting a distraction and then just jumping in.
We're all just like waiting. I set off a loud explosive device somewhere. Everybody looks.
He looks.
And then
Knock on the door. Sigh with a pizza. I didn't order pizza. The plane takes off.
Anybody order pizza? Anybody order a pizza?
What is pizza in Greek?
And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and take our break for this episode at that point with the plane, and then when we come back, we will invade the island.
It looks like it's pizza, by the way.
Is there any language where it's not pizza?
No, it's an Italian word. It's an Italian
Like a
word.
proper noun, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, no, sometimes, when you translate things into another language, sometimes they change,
You
I
get
don't
away.
know, man. I don't know.
I think if you no, because Greek is a Cyrillic. I was trying to think of if you get away from most Western languages, you might get a change in terms of how it's said or what it is. But I
even
think
so, language
Yeah.
adoption words are all over the place. But anyway, Grant was trying to take us to a break. So.
Yeah,
It's
we're
okay.
gonna go to
Oh,
an 8-minute
pizza.
break. By the way, Porco Rosso is awesome. It's not the best Ghibli movie though. That's Nausicaa. Fight me. But we're gonna go to an 8-minute break. You can get your snacks and all that kind of thing. We'll be back with the second part of the episode.
I'm saying the best Ghibli movie is Princess Mononoke.
Oh no, here we go.
I mean, it's good. It's good.
Nausicaa is
Oh,
fine,
no.
but I think it's far too long for what it actually provides. It's drags so hard.
I enjoy Nausicaa, but it's not in my top. I've seen them all, so this is.
You ain't
have
gonna
break
hurt me
time.
like this. All right, we're gonna go to our break. See you later.
Why?
Hello and welcome back to Roll Fred's Knights Black Agents, The Hungry Dead, Episode 4, the finale, Part 2. Take it away, Grant.
Marley was dead to begin with, as dead as a coffin nail. So sorry, I ended up going right into the Christmas Carol. For the Muppet version, you've successfully stolen your Porco Rosso style jet, and you're going to have to make a landing on the island of Yaros. Now, as you fly by, you can see that there is a small group of people as you go by. They are they seem to be gathered at a grove of trees. They seem to be having some sort of a discussion. They're not picking fruits or anything. There is a gathering here. To land on the island safely is a piloting test. Difficulty 6. Question for Ashley. Is Melano coming with you?
I mean, she might ask her to, because she's just like, you might have more insight to some of this than I do.
She
doesn't like force it, but she's like, I would like it if you came.
And it's one of those things, hand under your chin, gives you a weak smile, then molds into your shadow. So she's in shadow form now. So she's there with you. Feels like someone's walking over your grave and, every now and then poking you on the vertebrae, and you do feel just like a mild cold might be coming on. However, it quickly switches to pleasant, happy feelings because your vampire girlfriend, y'all are moving quickly, now is sticking to the shadows.
You moved in together. You already.
Your definition of romance.
If Ashley just moves into the via,
You're picking out dishware,
Yeah, I'm just talking about interior design. What
Ashley's
what
just
color
like,
to paint your bedroom?
Ashley's like, I have two very beautiful women who are interested in me right now. Of course I'm seeing where this is going.
into it. Yeah.
all right.
Hey, the feeling of being wanted.
I believe Feroz will have a piloting check.
All right.
This is gonna end well, because
I can definitely be a co-pilot, by the way, if possible.
I was gonna say I can't help you.
I got 1 in piloting. So.
Unless you need me to surveil the plane, I can do that. But,
6.
Nice.
6 is
Nice.
just enough. It was a difficulty 6. So you are able to land. No, I was like, I was hoping to use my little power. But yeah, you've landed, and you are safely aboard the island. Now, there is, amongst the group you can see in the distance, a figure that stands about 6'3", has long golden hair, pale skin. That's very clearly an Orphic vampire. You've run into enough now. And there are a collection of followers that are picking fruit, but it appears every time they're going to pick one, they have to consult with him. And they are gathering everything. That said, too, there are who's our friend with military science?
that's me.
Oh no, I don't. Never mind. Sorry.
I have 2 military science.
There's a vampire that seems to be instructing. There are harvesters who are collecting pomegranates, and they're pulling them down, or these pomegranate type things, and they are loading them into crates and chests. There's 2 individuals with flamethrowers that are, your guess would be their plan is to burn down everything
Torch the
once
place
they're done
once
collecting.
they're done.
Yes.
And Jess kind of like whispers to the others, like, I don't know if you can see this, but they got Flamethrowers? I'm guessing that's not for self-defense. That seems like a kind of pick all the fruit and burn it down kind of a situation.
I mean, I'm down to pick all the fruit and burn it down.
No, I mean, I agree, but we got to make sure they don't get it, and we do.
This is where Feroz becomes a vampire. So
Everybody, you become a vampire. You become a vampire. Everybody becomes a vampire.
There's this
The-
unspoken
the-
thing though, where like everyone knows that if something terrible happens to Feroz, like he turns into a vampire, kill him.
We're all your friends, Feroz. We could never do that.
Sai just picks you up, places you in his shadow.
do that.
I'll keep you there. We'll be pals.
Yeah,
Ashley,
let's.
come live with me in the Via with my two girlfriends.
So, here's my play. You know, just because I think this is like a direct route kind of a thing. Vampire's clearly in charge. If we can get control of the vampire, you know, either hostage or, you know, kind of like just make sure that they're in trouble, then I think the rest of them will probably do what they say. So, I'm gonna try and sneak up and, like, grab the vampire from behind. And the rest of you, I don't know, set yourselves up in a way that I'm not gonna get immediately shot to death when I do this. Would be
So
great.
it's going to be an infiltration check. Difficulty 8.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that. Yeah.
I can handle this.
All right. Jess looks like she's about to go and, like, sneak through the, like, field or whatever, but it's clear she's not at all, like, good at sneaking.
Okay, you're making too much noise with everything. I got this.
I got heavy pockets. What can I say?
Full of
It's more the
explosives.
it's more the shoes. You need to like make sure.
She's wearing, like, steel-toed work boots, basically, like...
Difficulty
I
8
tell
with
you.
only 3 points spent.
Hey!
Nice.
Good
By the way, you can be quite sneaky in those boots. Trust me, I know as a
Oh, yeah.
as a Navy
Yeah.
guy that you can getting around the ship at night, trying not to wake people up. You figure it out.
Well, how close do you want to get to this vampire, Feroz?
Stake distance?
You're able to do it. You are that close. And you can see as you're close that the militia individuals that are up there close, like this vampire's bodyguards essentially, are armed to the teeth. They have heavy weapons, not just the flamethrowers. Also, the cultists that are working here, they're all armed as well. So you're in deep. At this point, Melano kind of whispers to Ashley, goes, I know him. His name is Xanthus.
I
Loud mouth.
was like, is he someone we should be worried about?
To be honest, sweetheart, I think you should worry about all vampires besides me.
Fair.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I would like to perform my special combo move by using explosive device to attach explosive devices to throwing knives. And then we're gonna get loud.
Okay.
I also have
So,
I also have
order of
mechanics if you
operation.
need me to roll that to do that.
Let's go ahead and do mechanics to rig.
Sure, yeah.
It's an In fact, it's one roll. It's one explosives device
Okay.
check.
Do I know the difficulty?
To hit Xanthus,
I'm not trying to hit Xanthus because Feroz is gonna deal with Xanthus. I'm aiming for like the ninja fling of various, knives at various armed targets. Especially the flamethrowers, because they'll go up real good.
Hmm. All right.
The more
Let's do some order of
chaos
operations.
I can create for Feroz, the better. Basically, is my thought here.
Okay. And Feroz, your intention is to stake?
Yes. But I'm going to wait
Okay.
for the moment that bomb goes off, so everyone's looking the opposite direction, just in case this thing cries out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Look, I'm a hunter. I'm used to this.
And yeah. And at this point,
Okay, give me an explosive device check for me.
let's get an explosive. Sai, is there anything you want to do?
Honestly, I have no clue what can Sai do at this point. I think he's just going to act as point and kind of. Do we have like walkie-talkies or anything of that sort? Like communicate?
You can have communication. Originally, you had phones, but
Yeah, I think.
you can use walkie-talkie. You have headsets.
Yeah, I think what he's going to do is he's going to like find a point where he can kind of observe things and kind of guide Rose to make sure that he's not like, you know, in case he sees something that might approach him, as well as Jess to make sure, like, you know, kind of watch their backs to make sure that nothing sneaks up behind them as they're doing this operation.
Okay. So make an infiltration difficulty 5 to get the best vantage point without being detected.
Got it. All right. Where is my roll for? There it is. Okay, I'm going to roll 1d6, and it was. I forgot to announce how many points I was going to put down for infiltration. I only have 1 point anyways. Technically it's a 4. I didn't announce how many points, so I'll just take the 4.
Okay.
I need to do explosives. Do I know the difficulty?
You will.
Okay.
Here's it. It's going to be a difficulty 6 to get those flamethrowers to get extra flamey.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy shot for you.
I add
Because of
I add 5 to it. I'm not even gonna roll.
Okay. It goes up. Flamethrowers are now they've succumbed to the combo. Everyone was distracted because they see this, you know,
I see Sai.
character in the distance. They're like, "Who's that?" Binocular. Everyone looks. Kabam! At this point, Feroz has a chance to stake Xanthus.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, okay. What do I need to roll? That's weapons. Got it.
It's weapons.
What's my target number? Am I allowed to know this time?
You are allowed to know it. Target number 10.
Oh, that's physically impossible then.
Aww.
Because even if I spend all my points and roll a 6, that's a 9.
Oh no.
Oh no!
But here's the thing. I don't know that in character.
No, you don't.
So I'm not gonna spend points.
That's why I hesitated telling you, because it's like, this is a hard one. This is, you know, Xanthus is a vampire leader. He's, you know.
It's okay.
Hey.
It's just gonna turn into more action.
Yeah, I'm going to stab nothing, but I'm gonna try. Do you want me to roll anyway? I can roll anyway.
Roll. Because, well, the amount you miss might change the picture positioning.
It's pretty
That's
bad.
a 1. That's a 1.
You come in. You've missed staking vampires before. It's not the first time you've missed. You attempt to stake Xanthus, and almost miraculously, Xanthus is behind you.
Oh shit! He teleports behind you. Nothing personnel, kid.
Nothing personal, kid. Teleports behind you. Oh my gosh, too good. The rest of this stream is Hedgehog OCs. He's going to make an attack on you. What is your hit threshold?
Oh, it's only 3. I'm human.
Okay.
I'm a human.
Let's roll.
Suspicious thing for you to say, for us.
Why didn't you spend 2 points? Put that one out there.
Here's what we're going to do. He actually he's just gonna straight roll.
He's gonna
He
what?
still
Oh,
hits.
roll.
And then you notice he gets a second attack on you. But he
no.
does not hit with that one. Actually, he does. He's supposed to get +1 to the roll because he's using vampiric speed.
Hey.
Yep. So let's see what he does to you. So first with the fist, he does 1d6 + 1.
Come on, one. Come on, one. Come on, one. Fuck.
Are you down?
Nope. Definitely go down next round, though. Now I'm down.
Okay.
It took 2.
So yeah, he hits you, and on the second one, he sends your body flying at 3 meters, like, and you land unconscious away from him. At this point, though, the orchard is going up in flames because of the flamethrowers. People were up in those trees picking fruit too, and they're just like, "Oh no!" Like this is not a good situation to be in. Melano wants. Yeah, go ahead.
I think, considering I'm being tossed several meters in a direction, should I roll athletics to see if I keep hold of that stick?
You're
Mistake.
unconscious.
Hmm.
In
Well.
fact, the second punch you would have let go, and then you'd land. But the stake's out there. It's dramatic. There's a stake. Melano asks Ashley, "Should we get your friend? Should we deal with the vampire? What's your call? What do you need me to do?" 'Cause she's a vampire too.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, let's get Feroz out of there. Because
I'll do it.
I don't want him to die.
She physically manifests, and she takes off with vampiric speed too. You've never seen her move that fast. And storm clouds are gathering too. She goes, "Do you want me to make it rain?"
Yes!
It starts to downpour with rain. It's not putting all the flames out yet, but it is creating a big old mess. And you notice like the waves are now starting to turn like tidal waves.
She stops in the middle of the field.
Wow.
Dollar bills, making it.
Ashley is just like, oh, I am impressed.
Yeah.
Paradise.
Turns out when your girlfriend control the weather, that's impressive.
Yeah. It's one of those things too, like, and you can think about how you could use her strategically. Like there's obviously these folks came here on a boat. That's how they got here. She could sink their ship, you know. She's with that said, she's
my
also
battleship. Sorry.
you sunk my battleship. Yeah, so at this point, Melano has Feroz's body. That's all she can do on this turn. She was able to get from where you were to Feroz and cause heavy downpour.
Grant, I would like to sprint my ass towards that stake on the ground once I see that Feroz is down.
Athletics check 5, and you can get to the stake. Anything,
I
and
do
you'll
it.
have it in hand.
I spent 4 points and I just do it.
Woo! You have the stake now too. Sai,
I square up against vampire Z-name guy.
you are now in position, and you see, and everyone's like looking at you, and it's like, hey.
Hey guys. So I like I said, I came up to try and cover for Feroz. So I think at this point, like as Ashley is going over there to grab Feroz and get him out of there, I continue trying. So I take out my gun, and basically I'm trying to stop the vampire from like approaching him or like getting to him from there, kind of like from a high
You want
vantage
to take
point.
a shot?
Yes, with my
Roll.
fancy gun. Okie dokie.
This time it's going to be a 9 to hit him. It's not as high as it was.
Oh,
He's running out of his magic vampire points to make himself really hard.
Okay, well, phrasing. Sorry. What should I roll for?
It's a shooting check.
Yeah, I wouldn't. There's no way, because even if I got a 6 and added my 1 point in shooting,
Do you have a point in vampirology?
I do have a point in vampirology.
I will let you spin the point, and by understanding the vampire anatomy, we'll give you a
Okay.
+3.
Oh,
This is one of those optional rules from Double Tap where you can drop your investigative points for combat
okay.
perks.
Well, if I knew that.
All right, 1d6 plus 1 is a 5. That is a 6.
Woohoo!
Whee! Play along.
Making it, doing it.
All right. So roll 1d6 and add 2.
Another 1d6 and add 2.
This is the damage.
Oh, come on. Oh, not bad. 6 total. 8. That's a 4 plus a 2.
6 total. His vampire health bar goes down about a third as you shoot
Still
him.
a lot.
Yeah. The bullet holes starts to seal up though, and it's one of those things as a vampire you can regenerate his health naturally. And with that, for Rose, you are awake again. Your eyes are open as Melano is not bonding with you, but she's making sure that you're awake by spinning her blessing. She's like, rise and shine, as she looks at the rain.
It's gotta suck to have a root name to do with the sun and be a vampire.
Yeah. That's too down.
She yeah.
Go ahead.
You're awake now, and she's just kind of looking at you. She looks back at Ashley. She's like, where do I take him?
Come back! Because Ashley hasn't gone into the fray, so people haven't seen her yet. So she's like, come back, because we can still hide. Yep.
She's willing to, but what does Feroz want to do? So she won't take your agency from you.
I imagine Feroz can see Ashley being like, just trying to get you to just come back and rest for a second. Like, she's like, you can go back out, but like, let's get you chill.
Drop me and go back to her.
She's confused. She goes, all right, drops you, and then she goes back to Ashley. She goes, he didn't want to come. And it's great, because she's like, zip, flash, she goes, and she's just like, no, she's got the zoomies. This is the fastest you've ever seen Melano move. She's just like, he told me to leave him. I patched him up, though. Feroz, you have 3 HP, 3 health at this point.
Ashley's like, thank you for helping him, that fucking self-sacrificing idiot!
Finally, someone said it.
Look, I have a daughter, which naturally means I should put myself in the most danger possible, right?
Ashley is a vampire who won't let her put herself in the most danger possible. But Ashley is like, can't fight very well, but I think she's going to start running over to help now, because she's like, nope, you're not doing this alone.
Is there a flamethrower anywhere nearby?
There sure as heck is one.
Yeah,
One of them exploded.
Yeah, we blew up one of them, but
I'm gonna
there's
grab
another.
one.
You're going to have to grab it from the guy, so do a hand-to-hand. It's just a difficulty 4.
Let's spend a point because, y'all, we still have to face off against a vampire lord in. So I'm not really hot
I am
on spending.
spending my points pretty fast and loose, but whatever, it's fine.
Perfect.
All right. So, ta-da! You've managed to get the flamethrower from the guy. He's like, no.
Yeah, I hit him another time so he can go down. Good night, sweetie.
Oh. So you just melt the guy?
Mm-hmm.
He goes up in flames, and turns and almost falls into Xanthus, who sidesteps him. Xanthus is at the point where he's like, the odds are not going in my favor. He's like, maybe we make a deal?
Sure. Come a little closer.
No. If I'm coming any closer, I'm bonding with you. That's it. And I don't hardly know you.
Everybody's gonna get bonded, huh?
If that's what you want. And I extend. You know what? I put my thumbnail back into that wound, which is mostly healed up, but I'm pretty sure I can get just enough. Then come on. Take what you want.
Enticing the blood. Jess, at this point, you could try to stake the vampire.
Yeah,
at this point,
I'm gonna give
it's
him
an
the
8.
old 1-2.
An 8 will stake him with weapons.
All right. Well, I do have 8 points in weapons, so I could just do it. But let's instead
Roll for it.
roll some stuff. Yeah.
Credits.
And
Yes,
end of campaign.
And you said it's 8. I guess I will spend 4 for the
Okay.
50-50, and we will see how we do. No, damn it, short.
Oh,
Only a 7.
he sidesteps you. What's your hit threshold?
My hit threshold? I think it's 3. Let's check.
Okay.
Oh, no, 4. 4 is my hit threshold.
Here. Well, he misses you once, and then he does this much damage. You also notice the bodies of the dead people are starting to animate, being around him. You take 5. You lose 5 health as he.
I am down. I should have just.
He
spent
sees
all
the
the
stake,
points.
too.
Guys.
And it's one of those things where he's like, look, we don't all have to die here.
You have 2 options. And I still have my hand extended out.
Mm-hmm. Tempting. It's one of
I
those
will
things.
spend a point of reassurance if that helps.
Ooh,
I'm really not threatening right now.
you're not, and he's going to come forward with the reassurance. It's like, You're the one that dated that soccer player, aren't you? No.
Yeah, that's true. I would like to take the nozzle of the flamethrower and put it in his mouth.
I don't think he's going to go for that.
I mean, I doubt it, but I'd like to roll for that.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a shooting,
A shooting.
or a weapons, or a hand-to-hand, because you're so close and there's a lot going on here. With that said, it's gonna be a 7. A 7 is the points. Is going down, down, down.
Okay, I think I will get rid of my hand-to-hand. Spend all 3 points in it. All 3 points that I have left.
Okay.
And okay, not 1d4, 1d6 plus 3. That's an 8. And then I'll turn it on.
He goes up in flame. Roll 1d6 plus 5.
I'd love to. I will mention, Grant, as it's only fair, he would have likely been able to grab my other hand.
He grabbed your other hand.
So,
Why give him?
we both might end up going up in flames.
Well, here's the thing. At this point, Xanthus, and this is probably weird. This is like an artsy movie here, where it's dramatic. There's some French New Wave cinema going on. So, describe Xanthus's final moments, because you rolled just enough to kill him.
Yeah, I think I grab. So he has my hand grabbed,
Mhm.
and then there's like that look of shock as he tries to let go, and I hold back onto him as the nozzle goes into his mouth, and as the flames start licking across his face. As they try to reach me, I drop the flamethrower, and I let go, and I start stumbling back, and he's like still reaching forward, like he's trying to take me down with him. And he's like, the back is straight up in flames. He's literally turning to ash in front of me as he's reaching forward with like those like long talon-like
Yes.
fingernails almost scratching my face, or perhaps scratching my face depending upon what you'd like. And I think, if you let me, I think he turns to ash literally seconds before he would have managed to kill me.
I'm good with it. And that's exactly how it goes down. As you described, it's one of those things. As he's beginning to turn to ash, he was described as very gorgeous with long blonde hair. He starts to look like a withered old man with flaky skin and just grotesque in every sense of the word. And then finally, just ends. The conspiracy members that are not dead have thrown down their weapons and are surrendering. Melano turns to Ashley and says, "Another one's down." He points at Jess.
Oh, yeah. Ashley's like running over with basically just like, yeah, let's get over there now, and runs is like, because she started running over there to catch Furrow. So when they get there, she's like, "Can we help Jess, please?"
Yeah. She looks down in. Sorry, it's one of those things. I like playing Melano a little flirty. It's like, "Oh, we better give her mouth to mouth." No, I'm kidding. Like, it's one of those things. Like, for a punch to the face. I know, it's one of those things. Melano does not. She goes, "All right." She waves her hand and she says, "I've been working awfully hard today. I may need to nap soon." And essentially, vampires in the game have a score called aberrants, which is like their vampiric abilities. They use it to do things like have the vampiric strength, which allowed them to knock Furrows back 3 meters. Vampiric speed, which gives them multiple attacks and bonuses to attack, as well as makes them harder to hit. Controlling the elements, moving quickly, healing people is all taking its toll on Melano, so she's either going to have to feed on someone soon. It typically, she'd siphon something from Ashley, but she kind of likes her, and she doesn't necessarily want to, steal her vital essence. There's plenty of people around that she could snack on, but or she can just go reconstitute.
Yeah.
Hang out in the water.
Ashley's like, "You can take a nap if you need. If it means helping my friends, I don't care if you feed on me."
You can take a nap if you want to. Sorry. I'm all about songs today.
You can leave your friends behind. Sorry.
Anthem of my life.
Nice. That's good. Yeah, so she just sort of slinks into your shadow after restoring Jess. Jess, you are at 3 HP now, 3 health. And at this point, you have like 3 conspiracy members that have surrendered. I imagine Sai handcuffs him for whatever reason. Just like, "Ha-ha!
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Aha!
Under arrest."
Start
Ashley
reading the Miranda rights.
Yeah, Ashley looks at Sai and is just like, "Have you been carrying those this whole time?"
I am a private
Done
investigator.
for this situation.
I mean, I haven't needed it until now. We've either killed them or they've been knocked unconscious and tied up. So, and I only have one.
So you just slap handcuffs on one of them.
Aha! It's like that moment.
They're essentially at your mercy, similar to the other ones. And even though they are armed, they understand. They're just like, look, they just set Xanthus on fire, and they have, a vampire helping them. This isn't, they do have their crates of the pomegranate seeds. All those have been collected because remember they were storing them in containers. About half the orchard has burned down.
I take one of the leftover flamethrowers. I toss it back at one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You want to live? You burn down the rest of this fucking place.
It just goes right to work, and it's just like, this is an artist. It's just like, he knows what he must do, and he is burning it all down. So, crate of pomegranates, dead vampires, and you have 3 conspirator members. They seem pretty disappointed. Not because their leader died or that they have to destroy this place, which they were already doing. They're just like, ugh, we were so close to immortality. So close.
Fine, go ahead. Grab a seed or two, and then I'll burn you as well.
They say we cannot perform the ritual. We needed him to do it, and they point at the pile of ash. They go, but maybe it's not so great to be a vampire. Melano bites her tongue.
What would have... If you take these without the ritual, what does it do?
We don't know.
I crack open a crate and I like take a really close look at them. Is there any points I could spend to try and figure out exactly what the point of these things are?
I have chemistry if you need it.
So, yes. You would know upon inspection, just simple inspection.
Jess like looks over your shoulder a little bit.
So there's two ways this can go. As part of a vampiric ritual, these can in fact be used to replenish vampires and create new vampires. 100%. Used incorrectly, it'll melt your face off. You know, it's the reason why it can be converted and distilled into the MARVX virus. Like, these are lethal MacGuffins.
these things are the catalyst for that whole human melting 99% of the population virus. So if there isn't some magical ritual to change that particular attribution, I probably wouldn't touch them for us, personally.
Is there anything else?
RVX turn people into vampires?
So here's what it is. So the seeds could be used in a vampiric ritual
Yes.
to become a vampire, or essentially the vampires' numbers have been seriously depleted. So you've killed a lot of them. In fact, you killed thousands of them at the Plutonian. That was their big, yay, we're bringing vampires into the world and we will dominate once more. Y'all wiped them out, though. And so now they're turning to desperate measures. So, like, our numbers have waned, we're weak, we need to indoctrinate new vampires. What's another way we can do it? Well, unless we find an Avernus and perform rituals there, but you destroyed it. You destroyed the gate to hell. They can rely on this ancient ritual, which is highly lethal and highly dangerous. So I don't know if I answered the question exactly, but that's sort of the purpose. They're trying to replenish their vampire numbers, but they're also trying to maintain some semblance of population control, because you also knocked out all their virus stores in Moscow.
So, okay. It can be used to create MARVX. It can be used to create a vampire. But it's only those two functions. So if I took one right now, nothing would happen?
If you took one right now, your face would melt.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I was worried you're going to ask one of them to eat it. And I was just like, I'd be like, full disclosure, his face will melt off if he eats it.
I go over to a burning tree, and I take these crates, and I just shove them next to the tree, and pour a bunch of gasoline on them. No, I actually, that's not safe. I put a full container of gasoline with the top unscrewed off on top. It'll eventually catch fire and explode. Fire safety.
Good on you. The more you know. All right. Yeah, so the conspiracy members are like, they ask what's going to become of them. They're like, we have a boat. We can take the boat.
You tried to conspire with a bunch of otherworldly beings against other people and performed a lot of illegal activities. You're getting
not to be argumentative, but they point to Ashley's shadow, which is like brushing its hair.
We didn't use that to harm humans and do illegal stuff.
She's been very kind and helpful.
Yes. So therefore, you are going to jail for a long, long time.
How are we going to lock them up? Legitimately, how are we going to lock them? What? These people were involved in vampire conspiracy? Side, come on.
You know what? I can solve this real quick if we want. I got a solution for this.
Which is?
Just like we don't have to kill them, but we don't have to leave them in a good situation. I mean,
They're abandoned on an island.
I just don't want them catching up with us, you know? Like, or letting anybody know, or doing any of that kind of thing. I'm just thinking, like, we ring their bells a little bit and leave them in the dirt and move on from there.
We don't have to save them, but we don't have to help them.
Well, I'm thinking about hindering them effectively. Like, it's not a walk away just straight up. It's a, like,
They say, listen, these trees are on fire. People are going to see the fire from a distance. They're going to see the smoke. The government will investigate soon.
This way, so you got two options. Dock is that way, so you can start going to swim, and eventually you'll reach there. Or you can wait here for somebody to notice the fire and realize that there might be people abandoned here. As for your boat, Sai, how do you feel about flying? How do you feel about piloting a boat?
Well, not really in my forte, but I wouldn't mind assisting if that's how you need me.
There we go. Excuse me, I've got a plane to fly. And I walk away.
If you do check out their boat...
Jess, like, looks between Sai and Feroz, like, am I going on the boat or the plane or the
Just
boat?
pick one!
It just goes with Sai, like...
All right. First mate.
So...
Yeah, I don't know anything about boats.
The boats do... Melano knows about boats.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think Ashley takes the boat because the Melano seems to like the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Dips your feet in the water, and you can tell the boat has several coordinates. One has this island. There is. It's not an island, but it's a location in the sea. That's most likely the yacht where Morgaine Liqueur is. And there's some other locations out there. They seem to match Sebastian Vallejo from last episode. He was going to have to do some deliveries. It appears that they've kept track of those locations. Of course, Sebastian converted and flipped and became one of your friends.
Yeah.
We tried to prevent him from dying, but it didn't work.
That was a challenge.
I mean, there's nothing to be delivered now, so...
No.
We're
So we had talked about after the island investigating the yacht. So the question is, are you going to describe to me how you want to approach it?
From sea and air.
Sea and air, yes. But
Laser attack.
you can't land the plane on the yacht. You could crash it into the yacht and you will survive because of Melano's blessing. Or you can land in the
take the
water.
whole boat down with the fucking...
It's a seaplane, so I think I just go to the water.
Yeah.
Land in the water, and then I just paddle over. I'm a good swimmer. I have a 4 in athletics.
So, the chemistry, Jess, you would know if they're dealing with the virus on there. Caution is best advised. Best advised, because if that stuff gets out, you're going to have a huge problem on your hand. Can someone give me a sense trouble, difficulty 4?
I'd love to. Oh.
I was
No,
like,
actually,
how many points do you still have? Because I have 6.
spend.
I will spend 3 points. Let me just note so I don't forget. I don't know why I just have Backstreet Boys stuck in my head, but here we are. Oops.
I was about to just commit a big faux pas. You said Backstreet Boys, and I was about to sing bye bye bye. I'm like, nope, that's NSYNC. No, I was about to claim a big war there.
Did I re-roll? Because I think I messed up that equation.
You actually do okay. You messed up the equation, but I can see what you rolled, and if we add any of the points to it, you more than succeeded. So you would have had a 7. Beyond what you needed. There is a creature of sorts. You can see signs of it. It's kind of circling the yacht. Your best guess is that it's not a mermaid, or is it? There's something in the water. And you notice wherever it hangs out, whirlpools start to form, but then it kind of skitters off.
I'm gonna ask Melano. I'm gonna point it out to everybody and just be like, Melano, is that more of a, are we looking at mermaid situation, or are we looking at like Kraken situation?
They say she rises up out of your shadow next to you. She says, he is like me.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
He's a vampire. It doesn't seem like he has much brain left.
Oh, that's sad. Did Cultist did that to him?
My thought is one of the other vampires did.
Okay.
Probably a petty squabble.
I'm gonna let everybody know there is a vampire in the water.
A merpire?
Vampire mermaids. Get the t-shirts. Just like Valkyrie mermaids. Let's do it.
Terrible. Talk about serving fish. That's a terrible joke.
But she is going to also say, it doesn't seem like he's all there. So I feel like if we play our cards right, we can probably avoid it.
Is that good for us or bad for us that he's not all there?
Yes.
I think it's how we play it situation.
For Rose, you would have noticed that there were approaching. You would have seen 2 armored guards on top. You could do a conceal. It would be a difficulty 5 because planes are loud, they're noisy, you can see them when they fly. However, there's a chance they didn't see you. They were on the wrong side of the boat. They might have heard something, but
Perfect. Done.
good. So they did not see you, but you definitely saw them. And so there's 2 armored guards on top. You also saw flying past hazmat suits, flotation devices. No one wearing them, but they're out just in case.
I'm gonna infiltrate my way onto the ship.
Okay, infiltration 5.
5. Okay, let's spend 3 points. I'm running out of points. Nope. Should have spent those points. That's an 8.
Oh no.
Here's what you see. Froze is, I imagine it's something like a frog band suit or something, just to go from water. No.
Perfectly normal clothing, soaked and dripping.
Full tux. Chef outfit. You go over, and as you're going over, roll initiative because the water vampire has caught hold of you.
Oh god.
But I succeeded.
Everyone else can get in on this too, so.
Oh no. Okay. Where did that page go? Why am I not? There it is. Get bored.
Hell yeah, 2 initiative.
This is gonna be
Really again? Come on.
Does anyone have a 6?
No.
Far from it.
All right.
No,
So
we don't.
the
Wicked.
creature next to the Calypso grabs Feroz, goes deep. It's like 40 feet deep now under the water, just pulling you deeper. That point, you feel it let go of you, and you see the glowing white figure of a goddess who essentially has knocked the creature off of you, as Melano has gone to your defense.
Man.
And
Great.
they're going to get into a vampire fight for a second. Next, who's next in initiative?
That would be. I think it's me, actually.
If you do an athletics check 5, you can get up. It's a ways, but you'll be able to get up and get onto the boat.
Does Melina look like she's handling this well?
You don't know how it'll go yet. She's tired and she has spent a lot of energy today, and she's about to fight a sea monster.
I'm gonna run out of oxygen, but I'm still gonna do it. Instead of how many? I don't have any points left in hand to hand, but someone still has the stake, and I'm gonna say it was me.
Technically, Jess has it.
Fair,
Oh,
no,
Jess
fair
has
enough. I
Okay.
could easily have given to you at any time.
Yeah.
No, you know what? You won on the ship, and I didn't. So I think, even with a hand-to-hand of 5, what I'm gonna try to do is like engage with Melano to try and keep him off balance, one on either side. Maybe even like trap an arm or two, just to give her as much of a fighting chance as we can get. And I'm gonna hold on to as much breath as I can while I'm doing this.
Okay, so this is a hand-to-hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you the difficulty.
Can I spend a point to get a of an academic ability like vampirology to get a +3?
You don't have to spend. You are currently blessed by Melano. I'm reading more in the adventure too. It's like, and if someone's blessed by Melano, so you'll get it'll give you an extra 3.
If I wanted to spend a point, could I get more? Or is it only one bonus allowed?
Only one for this.
Let's do it then. That's a 9, the highest I possibly could have gotten.
Woohoo! All right, describe how you stake the sea monster.
Woo!
And it will sink deeper and deeper and deeper into the abyss.
Will I have to use a living stake for this? Because that means we lose access to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I see it, like, trying to engage with Melano, and I swim directly into it to try and like grab it from behind, and I get tossed off, and the stake like it's at that point you realize the stake has changed hands because the camera zooms in on it just inches away from my outstretched hand. The thing comes out to reach me. I stake it through the hand, and then I twist it through its own chest.
Woo! Badass. So, scratch one sea monster. Melano takes you by the waist and comes up out of the water. Looks at her. Now, the guards on deck are a little suspicious. Other folks, they're on alert, but they don't notice everyone. They do see the boat. They see the plane, but they don't see you all. How do you all want to approach the boat?
Guess we have to swim up to it. Unless we park up right beside it, but I seriously doubt that's going to be stealthy.
No.
Is
Your-
there not a little
Your boat's
rowboat?
bigger. What was that?
Is there like a little rowboat?
There is.
Can we just take that?
That works too.
Easy to roll over.
Yeah.
The question is, do you want to try to be undetected by the folks on the ship?
Yes.
Absolutely terrible at infiltration, but definitely.
Oh, let me see. I can assist. Do I have?
Jess rigs an explosion on your boat. Like you have actually have your boat is bigger than their prison ship. The plane is smaller than both of them, but it was just like rig an explosion on deck, just like to distract them. Well, you come up the other side. So you can do a piggyback check. This can be a piggyback infiltration.
I do have 1 point in infiltration.
Yeah.
Anybody have more?
Okay. So, what is our degree? I mean,
I think I also have 1 point in infiltration.
okay, I'll do the roll, and I'll spend both of my points.
Difficulty 4.
Difficulty
Okay,
4.
that's not bad.
I'm not spending any points. Those two are giving me a +2.
You watch, you get a 1.
Well, their points don't add to your
wow.
roll. They
Oh, that's not the right command. Hold on.
So how does the piggyback check work?
so you're just throwing it.
Nice.
He did it fine. It's one of those things where you rely on one person to make the roll,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone else kind of like pays a tax. Like I'm gonna pay 1 point. If we succeed, we succeed, and then one person becomes responsible. We did this once for like a narrow mountain climbing thing, and then the person who made the roll actually failed, and then it's like everyone was gonna come off.
Oh.
But they had tied themselves up. It was great. They didn't die.
I slip off like my really soaked sweater because I know it's gonna drip everywhere, and just leave it in the water. I climb up and then I reach down, finger covering, helping people.
Melino takes the sweater and just like ties it around her and little cape.
I love.
Yes. She's a lot of fun. So there's 2 guards. You've got the drop on them. Sai, Jez, Ashley, how do you all want to handle this and approach this? You can sneak past them. You can incapacitate
I think
them.
Guards.
Let me know
I
how you
love
want to
beating
handle
up guards.
I think Sai incapacitates, like tries to knock him out in one with one punch. I feel like his hand-to-hand combat
You give
allows
him
him to know.
You give him the very
The crust.
yeah, like the
neck chop.
Yeah. The, like movie move that would never work on anything. Yeah.
Can I use hand-to-hand to help with that? Because I do have some of that.
I'll leave the incapacitating to you two. That works for me.
You both can do a hand-to-hand. So just make a check. The hit threshold is 3.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna add anything to it. So, oh come on!
Yeah.
The one time I don't think I need to.
Rough.
Really? Come on. Oh, it's fine. Oh my god! Oh.
Still good.
What?
3's good. 3's good.
All right, roll 1d6, Ashley.
Nice.
It's pretty good. And we're gonna subtract 1 from that. You sucker punch this guard. He's completely taken off. Sai, it's one of these instances where you don't succeed on the hit, but you have managed to draw a lot of attention to yourself again, where they're like, we've seen his face in the news, and they fail to get the drop. At this point, Jess, you're allowed to go if you would like, and then we'll go to Feroz. Just throw him off the side. So, Jess, do you want to engage the guards?
I guess I will if the surprise has failed. Yes.
Surprise has failed. One of them has taken a shellacking, but he's still going.
I will use hand to hand to pitch them off the edge of the boat. Yeah.
All right. So let's hand to hand. So the target is 3.
Oh, okay. I spend 2 points of hand to hand. I hit
You
the target.
automatically succeed. All right.
Do you want me to roll damage, or does it matter?
If you were throwing them off the side of the boat, you don't need to
the
roll
idea is
damage.
just to,
Yeah.
side of the boat.
Oh!
Clothesline him over the edge. Yeah.
Yeah, he goes over. No, he is in the drink. Go ahead and roll 1d6 just because. +2 from the falling.
4 total.
That'll take the fight out of him. Yeah, so it's one of those things where he's like, this is very lethal anyways. He's considering maybe I get on the rowboat, maybe I surrender. The one that's in the middle of the fight, he's like, he realizes he's outnumbered now. He explains, he goes, whoa, y'all, it's way too dangerous to be on this vessel. No. Like,
you think we're here because we don't know what's going on?
kind of looks around and he's like, hey, I recommend we de-escalate the tension. He seems like terrified.
Seem a little bit antsy there.
She's been known to blow things up. He points right at Jess. This is not the place you blow up.
Why?
Well.
Why isn't it the place I blow up?
RVX.
Guard.
It's more
Oh, good
VX.
point. Good point.
Yeah, like Feroz looks like he's.
Brooks looks over like. I mean, yeah, Jess looks over like. All right.
He looks like he's like halfway to death's door. Cause sure, 3 health points is great, but at the same time, dude's been winded more times than he can count.
Yeah.
We need to find. We need to find more game.
She's below.
And that, you want to lead us there?
He says, no, but I can give you the access codes, and for a trade, let me get off this boat and go to your boat. I can't sail all the way. He sits down, he goes, I'll give you the access codes and I'll sit here, but I'm not going down there. You can kill me. It's only death weights down there.
Can you fly? Can you fly a plane?
No.
Great. I point to the plane. Go hide there.
He looks relieved and goes and he sits
Well, give
in
us
plane.
the access codes first. But
Yeah, he gives you a key card that'll get you in.
Oh.
A soaked guard that got clotheslined over the top crawls up now and is winning. He goes,
Weapons on the ground. Then you can go to the plane.
they're in
and
the
hang out with
ocean.
that one.
He goes, I can't let you down there.
All right then. I pull out a knife and I go to stab him.
He
I'm sorry.
runs to the plane. He goes, whoa. There goes all my courage. Falling into the ocean took all the fight out of me. I forgot he had lost the fight. Yeah, so now you can go down. You see, essentially you are, as you go below, there is an access door and you are looking through a one-sided mirror and you see Morgane Liqueur. She looks awful. She looks like they have not been feeding her. She is currently chained to the room and has to operate while chained. And she seems like she's under a great deal of stress, like her hands are shaking while she's going through this. Yeah.
Do we need gas masks for this? Should we have brought gas masks?
There's hazmat clothes on the dock if you want to have said you put it on before going down.
Is she wearing hazmat?
No.
Then I won't. The others, it's up to them. Who wants to go in first, folks? I
I'll
think it
go.
should be Ashley.
Oh,
Oh.
all right.
Sure, I will go in. Considering I've apparently made friends with, I'm like an honorary member of the cult now.
Remember the cult?
The last time I talked to her, she realized that something was attached to me. Now something's attached to you. She'll respect that. Plus, I think, to be honest, I'm a bit out of it.
That's fair. And I hope Mel is resting. She's Mel now. Yeah, so Ashley is gonna she's gonna have like a gas mask prepared just in case. But she'll go inside and see Morgane.
Yeah, so she is she's in a really bad way. Essentially she says the virus, they're forcing me to make the virus, and like she shows where like they've been in injections, there's been, you know, malicious vampire mesmerism. She's like, I can't make the virus, I can't bring it back.
Okay.
But I'm doing it against my will.
Ashley nods and she starts like kind of slowly approaching, pretty aware there's probably a vampire in this room. She's like, we've destroyed the fruit. We've destroyed the original recipe. We can destroy this too.
Exactly.
She shows you around the lab. At this point, the group gets a pool of 4 investigative abilities that can they can be used to develop what you will describe as vampire killing weapons. She's giving you information, just like it's almost one of those things where she is speaking almost incoherently, where she's babbling about a lot of things, and essentially the information she's giving you is explaining, look, it's either us or them. I think it should be us. I've learned about them since working with them and having been fed upon for so long. Her vampire is dead. She killed it. That's how she learned how to kill a vampire. And she's like, we have to destroy this work, everything. And that is going to be a difficult task. You don't have the incinerators or the rocket launchers that you had in Moscow. There's a couple of ways you can deal with this. I'm curious what the group says.
We knew we were coming up against MarVX, and there were flame. Should I roll preparedness to see if I brought one of those flamethrowers with us in maybe a big old plastic bag?
Or put it in the other boat we sailed in on?
Oh yeah.
You could.
I'll spend 2 points in preparedness then. Let's roll for it. It never gets old. Oh, only 3.
So, not good enough if it's only 3, but Melano speaks up and says, I could bury the vessel.
Ooh.
Ashley looks at her. She's like, you look a little tired. Are you sure you can do that right now? You need to rest? Because I think I can destroy this lab at least.
If you can, that would be great. But if you can't come up with something, just know I can sink this ship. And she just kind of like wraps her arms around her knees and just sort of lays down on her side on the cold lab floor. Morgane is just like bewildered by this, just kind of like.
Ashley kind of comes over and like gently strokes her hair. And is just like, I think she's like kind of looking around the room and is I mean, there's got to be like structural weaknesses or chemicals or something we could probably rig to explode and destroy. Also, Ashley asks Morgane, is there a computer I can access? Because I could wipe those files.
Mm-hmm.
I can start there.
Yeah, she hooked you up with the information. you'll be able to delete the research and destroy essentially the last remaining accounts of the MarVX formula.
Every time someone tries to access it, it's just Ashley going, because I'm a Jurassic Park nerd.
I am as well.
Oh my god.
Ashley Nedry. Dodson. We've got Dodson here. See, nobody cares. All right, sorry. Wayne Knight. Good actor. Here's essentially you destroy the hard information, essentially the records, but you got to find a way to destroy the lab.
Yeah, so Ashley is going to go get Jess.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, Jess, how would you blow up this room?
This room?
Yeah, we don't need to sink the whole ship. We just need to destroy the lab.
Well, obviously it's gonna have to be a controlled sort of an explosion. Small-ish. Nobody's gonna want to be in here, but if I use directional, she like looks around and like does an architectural assessment of the room and like the ship in general. She turns back to Ashley and says like, should be doable, but like we gotta make sure nothing's in here that's gonna aerosolize.
Well, we could seal the room in, right?
You could seal the room in. There is a way to seal it.
So
Yeah,
I can seal let's set the explosives, get all of us out of there, seal the room behind us, and blow it up.
Sure, I'll time it. You know, we'll have plenty of time to get a fair distance away, just in case.
While this is happening, I'm just going to unchain Morgaine and work on those vampire-killing weapons, apparently.
Yes. All right. So they're essentially sun guns that you're making. They fire intense UV light. We could do a montage of just showing you like the juice of the pomegranate responds in a volatile way if UV touches it, and so the vampires will combust if they are in the sunlight because of their pomegranate juice blood. That's science, occult science.
Science.
And so yeah, you're able to assemble the weaponry. You have the components to do it, and that you do it. Now with Jess, this is just, there's no roll needed. It's just going to be a demolition spin, and you can do it, and you'll be able to.
Sure.
Essentially, here is the one thing that does need to be a spin. It is a 3-point mechanics test to seal the room.
Oh, I can do that.
Because you'll need to rig something on the inside. It seals from the inside. You could have Melano seal it, but then she's going to get burned alive. Yeah.
No, I can.
Okay.
I have 5 in mechanics, so I can do
Okay.
it.
I leave it to you then, while I set the charges.
And I'll spend the 3 points to just make sure it's an auto success.
You can spend 2 because you only need to roll.
Oh yeah, 2.
Yeah. All right. So, you set it up. As you get on the deck, you notice the plane is gone.
I guess the other one could fly.
Please don't bullshit detector us. Please don't bullshit detector us.
I don't.
Those two get married. Like they never do bad things again. Like they're just like they fell in love at sea. Yeah. So yeah, the plane is now gone. You'll have to get on the boat.
Guess we take the boat.
Good. I don't think I
There we
can pilot
go.
a celery stalk right now.
We boat away.
We blow
You
up.
start making piloting. This is a piloting. It's a difficulty 4 just to
I
get
can roll that.
far enough away.
I'll use my 1 point in piloting. And oh, come on!
Yeah.
Can I try?
Yeah.
You're not gonna capsize. It's one of those things where it's like, no, it looks the waves are bad.
I did say I've never sailed a ship before.
Melano reaches up out of Ashley's shadow and calms the sea and then slinks back in. She is going to have to take a nibble on you, so you're going to lose 2 health, Ashley. But that'll keep her sustained for the rest of the day.
Ashley said she could.
And with that, it's time for you all to make your way to the malicious monastery. It's going to be difficult to get to.
Blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it up.
I'm assuming we're gonna drop off Morgane on the way.
Yeah.
Where are you going to take her?
Can we take her to the Via? Will she be safe there?
You have to call your ex, Ariadna.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, yeah, so she calls Ariadna and it's just like,
You have social skills that might get you through this, but we're going to play this out a bit. Oh, you haven't called me in a while. It's been a day.
yeah, so, no more virus. The fruit would actually create the virus. Fun fact, the fruit would have melt your faces off, so good thing you didn't do that. We have proof. We also destroyed the labs and all of the remaining virus. We have the scientist. She's been held against her will and doesn't want to do this anymore, and is definitely.
Morgane LeCoeur, she was at the party.
She's definitely a dissident, and she needs help.
I guess she can come over. She says lethargically.
She really needs to rest, and they've treated her like crap. Like, they're doing horrible things.
We'll take care of her.
So yeah.
So pit stop at the Via. Morgane
Going off, or is it okay?
What's
Did
that?
my bullshit detector go off, or is it okay?
It's okay. It's one of those things where Ariadna has like essentially a spa day set up for Morgane, where they take her in and they tend to her. She gets fed good food, and that dissident cooking there's nothing quite like it apparently. The father's there though, and he sees you, Ashley. Why'd you walk off with my vampire?
I think she just chose me. And she's really nice.
Where are you keeping her?
Where is she?
He's like checking her shadow, and like she didn't go inside. She materialized and just was like, I'm not going in there. As she has Sai remove the plaque of her, it's like, take that down. I don't live there anymore.
Ashley was gonna ask to do was destroy the plaque. She's like, what? She's exactly where she wants to be right now. But she liked me, I guess. I don't know.
Well, if you go ahead.
Far be it for me to defend a vampire, but if you're going to sit here and say that they shouldn't have agency because you want to own her, I'm going to fight you on it. I've been through a lot today. We've been through a lot today. And frankly, we have no time to argue about the independence of an individual or not. Do you understand that, you remarkable asshole?
One that exploded my door! Sorry. I just wanted to be like the dad that just doesn't get it. That's the one who left those marks! No, it's one of those things. He takes it to lacking and is just like, Ariadna! And she's just like, this is where she brightens up. She's weakly smiles at y'all. She's like, it's cool. I got y'all.
Ashley does go, it is not her fault. You do not get to blame your daughter for shit, okay? Vampire left on her own accord. Your daughter is great, and she's been awesome and super helpful, so you can shut up now. And she has done probably way more than you have, so, like, just stop.
He simmers in toxicity, but cools down, and his countenance changes, where you notice sometimes you just need a good stern talking to by a group of outsiders to realize that even though it's your house, everyone's a human being. So he gets meek and makes sure that it's one of those things where Morgane is taken care of. He goes, I'll order the DoorDash. What does everyone want? Really, gets everyone food.
And then Ashley turns to Eric and is like, "Don't let him talk to you badly. I will hit him."
At this point, you need to make your way to the Eyrie.
Yep.
Essentially, you would know the village Avro is where it's located. There are 7 monasteries there, and out of the 7, the 7th stands tallest. That is the monastery of Saint Michael, I believe, or Saint Anthony. It's one of these biblical names. Let me double check. Saint Anthony. Sorry. How do you want to approach it? You'd have to go through the village, or you have a boat. The boat can't get you there. You no longer have a plane, and you can't steal another.
Dang. I mean, stealthy. Can we rig explosives around the perimeter?
You would need a lot of explosives, and it would take a long time.
I'm gonna call up a friend of mine. Not the
Okay,
SIS, because
alright.
I feel like
Rose
this girl
as a friend.
already trusts me not much. So if I said, I'm gonna call up the secret agency that burned you, it's probably not gonna go well. But I do have a different phone number of a certain Mr. Gomez. And he might have a friend who's willing to lend us a private plane. In Greece. Or at least rent one.
So we're going to say that this is a network difficulty 5.
5, okay. Right now, Ramon only has 3 points in network, but I do not mind spending another 3 to make his overall point number 6, and I will spend 5 of those. So he's still got 1 point left, because you do not want them to go to 0. Yeah, I call up Ramon.
Okay. We have the team charter jet. We're supposed to be flying across Europe. What we can do is you can sky drop out of the plane as we pass over, and you can rain down from the sky onto the monastery.
I look around at the other 3 like,
Sounds good.
apparently we're in.
Would only be like the 5th worst thing we've done in the last couple of days. So
I'm going to drop in the Discord the reason why I pitched that. It's the cover of the adventure where they're sky gliding into the top of the monastery. And I was just like, we might as well do the thing.
Yeah.
All right. Like Ramon, he goes, all right. So you're on the team jet with a bunch of soccer players. Like, they're there. It's nice, you know. Sai, you get another one of those $800 bottles of drinks because of the team jet. And then what we're going to need to do is where do you want to land in the monastery on the outside? So there's a couple of locations, and you would know this based on some of the recon you've been able to do. Let me get back to the page where I was. All right, so there's a courtyard. There's a gatehouse you could land on top of. There's a tall tower, which you're not too sure what the tall tower is used for. There's also a series of caves that connect to it. So there's monastery, then there's like cave system connected to it, similar to Istanbul. But as you learned in your interrogations with folks here, the Avernus beneath this monastery is sealed, like it's not open.
Well, I think we want to land as centrally as possible so that we can come in through the roof surprise style.
Yeah, let's land on the roof. I'm into this.
Yeah.
Tall tower. No rolls needed. You sky drop in. It's one of those things where y'all are like, we have to use the restroom. And you all like jump out of the team jet. Oh my God. Yeah, it's great. So You land on the roof of an observation deck. Inside, there are 2 monks. They don't see you. They did hear something land on the roof, but they know that there's a lot of vampires in the area. You also see, circling around, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bats just kind of like circling the entire village and the monastery as well, as if they're on patrol. At this point, you can describe how you want to approach these monks, or if you want to talk with them, or slip past them.
I
Go
mean,
on
I
the
think
roof to a different
I think my
room.
move is just to be like, vampires, where? You know?
I mean, my move is to try and sneak up and like knock him out with a club or something. But
Oh my god.
Give him the old blackjack.
You notice the inside, it's in horrible shape. Like the floors look completely just like crumbling. It's dirty, you know, it's full of webs. There is no task that's been done here. So there's been no maintenance. If you want, you can do an infiltration. It's a difficulty 4, and you can knock the monks out. You can also dress like the monks and maybe slip around a little more easily.
Yes.
That's up to you.
That's
yeah.
what I was about.
Let's knock them out and steal their clothes.
Okay.
Yeah.
who's here still has points in infiltration? Because it's not this guy anymore.
believe I have 1 point in
Listen,
infiltration.
I've got another way we can do this. We land, we like get in, and they haven't noticed us, and I just go, ahem, to get their attention.
Okay.
And as soon as they turn around, I go like, your clothes, now, right
Give me
away.
your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Do you have intimidation?
I do, yeah, 2 points.
They recognize your group, and they know that they are on their last legs, and they start to remove their robes. And
I feel like Jess turns to the group and is like, see, sometimes you just gotta ask nicely.
because they know they can get very hurt by anything in here. Like their job is to, you know, they are seeking illumination, and you know they've been living a very pious life here at the
I'm gonna give you
monastery.
I'm
of
gonna give
Saint
you a
Anthony.
little advice, naked monks or underwear wearing monks. You're probably gonna want to leave. Things are gonna get real nasty around here pretty soon. And also, if you know where the vampires are, just tell us now and we'll sort it out.
Yep.
Yes, they say they tell you you go down. Some of them are in the workshop, but the leader of them is in the chapel.
I pull out a couple euro for a taxi. Go.
And I give him a couple of euros
Uh,
for some clothing.
They politely-
For a shirt.
Yeah, they get a tourist shirt. Yeah.
Monks and
Says
Jews.
the big olive on it.
The big olive. Yeah, the naked monks run.
The
run
thing
off.
about trusting tourist
Um,
agencies for clothing is a lot of them don't contain pants.
It's true.
Oh, I get long shirts, oversized shirts.
I say we head straight to the chapel,
Agreed.
looking for any extra weapons we can along the way. Just, you know, we have these delightful sun guns, but just in case, some living stakes might be a good idea.
Also, only 2 of us can play monks. Because there's only 2 monks.
Well, monks are generally of a specific gender presentation. So,
They're also, let's be honest, usually of a specific race, at least here.
that's fair. That's a good point.
It seems like we're a little bit split here.
We're
It's interesting.
in Greece, you might.
You could be an emissary. Yeah, you could be an emissary from anywhere in the world. With that said, though, these are vampire monks. There's no more rules.
True, there are no rules.
I do believe I say specifically out loud, though. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but where are the white men when you need them?
Listen, give me one of those. Jess takes one of the like monk robes.
Yeah, I'll grab the other.
Just get on everyone. Melanos speaks up. She asks if she can go home.
Oh no.
She says, I know what's happening down there, and I kind of want to go back to the sea.
Ashley frowns like, oh, I just got you, but okay.
If you want me to, she says, she's like, if you want me to stay with you, I'll stay with you.
She's like, well, I don't want you to put yourself unnecessarily in danger if you don't need to.
You're putting yourself in danger.
Yeah, but that's my choice.
Let's go together. She stays in your shadow. Yeah. You're able to navigate this dilapidated monastery. You hear the sounds of screams beyond the chapel doors, just like agony. There is something horrible happening on the other side.
Grant, I would like to set up some explosives at the doorway here, like just in case stuff comes in behind us or whatever. I would like to plant remote detonatable bombs.
They are
Also,
set
remember,
up.
folks, we need to head to the workshop too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'll
if
tell
we
you
take out
this
their
much.
leader, the rest will be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you can head to the workshop, or you can go beyond these doors. The doors are now rigged to explode. It is just the sound of, you can
You
imagine.
can head to the workshop
Wes-
or go into the room with screaming and
So-
agony.
This is Wesley and the Princess Bride. Not
Hey,
to
look.
50! Ah!
I look,
You know,
I look at the group once I've wired up the doors, and I go like, "So we're going, right? We're going, like 3, 2, 1," and I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna
Boom.
like kick open the doors.
Beyond the doors is a ghastly sight. There's about 50 corpses on the ground. You can see what looks like mists of blood being ripped from their husks, and swirling and feeding the king of the dead. He stands 7 feet tall. He is
Not this guy again.
Yes, he is dressed in the blood of his enemies. And at this point, roll initiative, as he is going to move in to murder you.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
all the explosives, all the explosives.
Sun guns at the ready.
You have them.
Sun's out, guns out.
Sun's out, guns out. Wow, I am not rolling well today.
Yeah, 5. Woo!
Yeah, 4.
rolled
That's a 2.
Above average! Yay!
King is going on 6, so it'll be
Damn it.
hit the nail. All
We're
right.
so screwed. We're so screwed.
First thing he does is he raises his arms in the husk bodies. The skeletons stand up over the decaying skin, and so now there's about 20 skeletons in, and he goes, "Go forth and bring that one to me," and he points at Ashley. Yeah, you and he had a conversation before, and that's his turn. Now, the skeletons can't go yet. Now we move to the party. So, Elf, you're first. So Jess gets to go first.
So I guess the plan here is that I am going to use preparedness, Grant, to have pockets full of grenades.
It's a difficulty 4.
I spend 4.
3.
Three.
We spent 3.
Yeah.
Whatever. 3,
Woohoo!
sure.
You
I
have
pockets full of grenades, and I am just going to start throwing them into the crowd of skeletons and at our boy. at the
explosive
back.
device, and it's a grenade. It's going to be a 3 to hit a cluster. On a 5, you can hit 2 clusters. On a 7, you can manage to get 3, and on a
I'll tell you what,
9,
Grant,
you can get
whatever-
all the clusters.
whatever the top level is, I get it because I use my 1 MOD or whatever.
The MOS!
Yeah!
Woo! This is one of those things. It's like, I just imagine it's like, put sunglasses down. The sunglasses are like super sonic, and it's almost like calculating the trajectory and geometry of a game of pool, where it's like there's just all the bones explode. So she
I just imagine she baseball pitches a grenade into the group like way too quickly, and it just works out.
yeah, that's better. So roll 1d6 plus 5.
Eight.
Nice.
So 8. Over half the skeletons are outright decimated. The rest are they're brittle bones now. They've been blasted and like they're on the ground and they're disoriented. They are recently undead.
Jess is just like, I cleared the way. Get him with the guns.
And with that, we'll move through initiative to Thoreau's.
Gross, yeah.
You get the sign. Point the gun at him and shoot. And I'm going to try and run past him and turn my gun on him so he gets it from both directions.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and do a shooting. He's currently at a hit threshold of 8.
Damn it.
I'm not going to get it. Oh, wait, can I spend points? Can I spend, like, vampirology for this, or is it not going to work?
You have a... you can talk about, at this point, not just vampirology, but, like, maybe there's architecture, maybe there's... Describing fictionally and narratively how you want to use any of your investigative abilities to get a boost.
I run right towards him and then jump on a pew, because this is a chapel. And then I grab the chandelier above his head that I just know is there, because that's standard. It's like a candle chandelier. Swing over him, and as I land really like toughly against the wall, my gun's already pointed. So I'm going to try and use architecture here.
Yeah, it totally works, and you'll get 3 additional points added.
But that's all I can spend. I can't spend points from my shooting pool, I'm guessing?
You can spend it from your shooting pool.
You could add to that 3+.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep, okay. I'm going to spend all my points of shooting. That's 2. So I've got a plus as long as it's a 3 or above.
All right.
Looking good.
1d6 plus 6.
Nice.
He actually suffered from the grenade blast too, because Jess used the MOS. So 9? 9! Well, that's going to take a healthy chunk of health out of him. Again, the vampire life bar goes down about a third. Not quite. With that, he is feeling a whole world of hurt and apparently had overestimated his chances. And with that, I believe, Sai, you're up.
No.
I'm last.
Yeah. Oh, I got a 1 for initiative.
I got
I
a
see
one.
a 2.
Oh, sorry. I'm excited in my brain because I've been getting 1s all day. So, never mind.
You had a
Yes.
2.
Okay. yes. You're right. Okay. So, so I have a couple ideas. I want to see. Okay. So, Sai knows he is not good enough to shoot this thing, despite having a weapon that can shoot him and hurt him. So, can I use my MOS as a hand-to-hand combat expert to close the distance and basically shoot him point blank?
Yes.
Yes, that is what I'll do.
We could even say that you built like a UV.
Yes! Oh my god, I didn't know if that was possible, but
Alex.
that was what I was...
Yeah, I don't know. Just describe the badass thing you want for this vampire battle.
Okay, if that's the case, if it's any kind of weapon, then you see Sai turn around, bring up his fist.
Charge up a lightsaber.
And you just see him tap his knuckles together, and then the knuckle parts light up with the UV light. And see kind of little arcs of light coming across it. And he just runs forward and then just starts wailing away at this
Sai
vampire.
puts on the Infinity Gauntlet So it's an MOS, so go ahead and roll damage. It's going to be 1d6 plus 6.
1d6 plus 6. Yay! That is a 9.
Ooh, again, it goes down deeper as he is getting, even though he's large, it's one of those things where, Sai, you are, setting up the jab, you're just beating his solar plexus up. He's taking a lot of shots to the liver, and even though he's an undead vampire, just the sheer brutality of the blows are beating his immortal ass. So, Ashley, you and Melano.
Not so immortal now.
Ashley is going to get her sun gun out, and I was wondering if I could maybe use her occult knowledge or vampire knowledge to get a bonus to her shooting here, because I don't have a very good shooting, but...
Yeah, spend in vampirology will give you +3.
Okay.
He's much lower to hit now, too, because he's... Okay, how many attacks? He's down to hit threshold 6, so you get +3.
I'm going to take the bonus.
Okay.
And then I'm going to spend my shooting as well, just in case.
Yeah.
There we go.
1d6 plus 6 damage.
Also, as she's doing this, she's like, bet you regret saying you'd see me in Greece now.
We're seeing you all right, motherfucker.
8. He's teetering. He's tottering. He's going to heal just a little bit when it gets to his turn, but there's one person who has not yet gone. Melano rises up out of your shadow, and she causes a strong wind to collapse the ceiling of the monastery. So now there is a pillar of sunlight just sitting in the chapel, and she's going to attempt essentially to knock the King of the Dead into the sunlight and see if that finishes him off.
Oh my god.
If she fails, essentially, and you'll see the die roll, if she fails, she's going to get caught in the sunlight herself. If she succeeds, she'll knock the king in.
The vampire.
Oh, come on!
Failed!
No!
Melano.
Melano
All vampires die.
gets it. He catches her, though, by the throat, holds her into the sunlight. She bursts into flame and smoke and is whisked away into the sky. His hand burns. And with that, he turns, and it's Feroza's turn.
I'm just going to tell you, Ashley 100% did no! And is like, rush right in, because she's pissed.
If I wanted to hold him in place, would that be athletics? If I just want to grab him and stand this one together, hand in the hand, hand in the hand. I'm great today. You know what? Give me 1 second. Oh, you know what? I am going to... I have a point in archaeology, my friend. So I know just what Melano did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my knowledge of structures like this to break it more, so the entire chapel is filled with sunlight. Because
that'll give you +3, and what we'll do is it's one of those things, if you fired a weapon or just had an explosion go off at this point, you could even hit one of the bombs, you'll cause it to collapse. So that's essentially what it's going to say. We'll say that
I do have a pocket full of grenades, so I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
Just like a pocket full of posies.
So it's essentially a hit threshold of 3 in this situation, either explosive devices or shooting, and you'll cause the entire ceiling to collapse. Now that's dangerous for the party. You'll need to athletics, but it's okay. I don't think I'll kill you with collapsed ceiling yet.
Okay. So, I'm definitely going to use shooting, considering I have a gun in my hand. I forgot how there we go. There's the slash. Struggled with that for a second. +3.
Not great.
4 is good enough to start it to collapse. So the ceiling begins to collapse. Rays of sun are coming in. The King of the Dead sees this. Now, he could escape, but I know, and we might skip initiative for a second, but Ashley, you have a heat of the moment. Go for it.
All right. Yeah, Ashley is going to run, pick up like any piece of wood, Buffy
From
style.
a queue.
Yeah, and just like run at him and stake him.
All right.
Right in the heart.
So it's a hand-to-hand.
It
Hit
is.
threshold's down to 4. And if you stake him, he'll be caught there. He won't be able to evade or turn into a shadow and get away from the sunlight.
I'm going to spend my remaining points, which I have 2 of, so. Ha-ha!
Mm-hmm.
All right. Describe how the King of the Dead dies as he is held in place and the sun rains down upon him.
So Ashley is just like, she's pissed. And she runs in and she jumps up and she stakes him straight in the heart, stares him dead in the eyes, and just goes, "That's for Melano." And then is like, "Have a nice afterlife," and then jumps back as the sun trickles in and he just starts crumbling to ashes. And she like falls dramatically because he's very tall, so I imagine this was a high jump for her.
It is the end of a god as
Yes.
he drops in a pile of ash. And now, we're coming short on time, but we did mention the workshop. There are 4 vampires in there. They are huddled in a corner. They look like old, portly men. They, the same flaky skin and weathered look as Xanthus when he died. They're currently in their specter form. You have the drop on them. They're not.
Grant,
Yeah.
pocket full of grenades. I'm gonna use my pocket full of grenades on the
That's
4
some good pockets.
huddled in a corner. I'm going to spend 10 points of explosive device. And then that's what I do.
Yeah, roll 1d6 and add. How many grenades are you throwing?
I don't know, a pocket full. It's like 3.
3 or 4.
Add 7 to this.
Imagine one of us like cuts ourselves and just starts
Eight
putting
total.
blood everywhere. Nice.
It explodes on them, and it's one of those things too where as they try to rise, and it's one of those things where just the roof gives out as well, and is before they can even speak, they are hit by the sun and also turn to ash.
These guys are just an afterthought.
The last of the vampires, they're one where it's like you can barter with them, you can make deals with them, you can scare them off, but they are the remnants. They are no more. The sun is blocked by a sea green cloud that releases a light, peaceful, calming rain in the aftermath as the spirit of Melano says goodbye. And with that, let's move to our character epilogues. The virus has been stopped. The vampires have been thwarted. The King of the Dead is no more. And it came at great cost and great sacrifice. So let's go through our characters sort of where we see them immediately after thwarting the vampires and then maybe 1 year later. So let's go Jess, Sai, Ashley, then Feroz.
I mean, just make sure to call the credit card company and get those charges, reversed, and reclaims hold of her fake identity in Paris once again. I imagine a year after, she's probably still hunting vampire remnants, like any vampires that are left around. She's probably just taking the judicious approach and occasionally finding and blowing up said vampires. That's what I imagine her to be doing. She's in it for the thrill, so like, you know, when the next exciting thing comes along, she's probably game.
And Sai.
Oh man! Immediately afterwards, like you see, like there's a sense of rush, but it quickly fades. He realizes you see Sai like stare at his gloves, and then he takes it off, puts it in his pocket, and goes, "Well, time for an early retirement." Just because everything here is well beyond his expectations. He's just a simple, private eye, and he got into this because he wanted to be like Sherlock Holmes, and he's like, Sherlock never had to deal with this sort of thing. And he kind of just like, you know what, a quiet life sounds good. And then a year out, you see him, he has a little flower shop where all he wants to do is sell flowers. Because that's like the most peaceful thing he could possibly think of doing. And he occasionally sends a little bouquet to his crew once in a while on their birthdays or on special occasions.
So nice.
With a little letter asking how they've been.
Once a year, I'm going to add that the estate of Sebastian Vallejo sends you a bottle of that wine, just that you might savor every sip over the next 365 days.
And then also he occasionally goes and visits the grave of his friend that died, and also pours a glass of that out for her every year, and lays out a bouquet of flowers for her as well.
And Ashley
is going to go to the ocean, and leave some nice little flowers over at the ocean for Mel. She's dead, but it's nice for her, and the ocean was her favorite place. So she does like some like casting of petals into the water, and like thanks her for her help because she was really, really helpful and nice. And Ashley is sad that she doesn't get to see where this goes later in life. And then she's gonna go to the villa as well and let Ariadna know that like it's over. The King of the Dead is dead. The vampire conspiracy is stopped. So she can, they can relax more. And then, she's gonna go compile all of her notes to make sure some authorities in the SIS have everything that happened and the individuals accountable for it.
She asks if you want to stay for a week with her new bestie, and Morgaine comes out, who looks more relaxed than you've seen her this entire. She's no longer shot. She's no longer being forced to create a world-ending virus. She goes, a week in Greece.
She's like, sure, why not?
All right.
Like, stay with her for a week.
And camera pans over to Feroz.
I think as soon as the camera pans over, like there's just a shot of him like face up, directly just letting the rain soak into every part of his body, because this final freedom. Shortly thereafter, it goes to an airfield where he introduces everyone to Addison, and I think Ashley hands over all those notes, considering she wants to go to the SIS. But then the camera cuts to a loud sizzle in a pan of a grilled cheese sandwich getting flipped over. He puts it on a plate. He walks over to a kitchen counter. The camera briefly pans over Ramon, who's just standing there, and you hear Feroz's voice say for a split second, kind of muffled, so how long are you in town for this time? Before the plate with the grilled cheese sandwich goes right in front of a small 3-year-old girl who's eagerly waiting the moment where she can drown it all in red sauce.
Yes!
Nice.
And so ends The Hungry Dead, our mini-series of Night's Black Agents. We had smooches, we had sads, we had suspense. Take it Take us home, Bum.
All right. We're going to wrap up the show for today, but we are actually hanging around for a little bit longer. Don't go anywhere because we are doing our after show, and it will be live as it is a finale after show. So we'll pop to a break for a bit at the end of this, but then we will come back for the after show that you can watch, and you can submit your questions. So please, if you have any questions, stick those in the chat right now, and then we can take a look at and see about answering them. All right, let's go around all the cool people that we've had on camera today, and then I'll go through all the announcements and get that all sorted out. So how about we start? Let's mix it up and start with our game master for today, Grant.
Hi, everyone. You can find me on Twitter at WisePapaGrant. And it is at this point that I am honored to announce that I am retiring and stepping away from active appearance and actual play. So this is my final session on Twitch for a time being. I'll be back one day. We'll see when that day comes, but I really appreciate the role for it for the past 4 months. Let me guest star and participate in shows on Saturdays. They were always one of my favorite channels and folks that I looked up to in terms of production. So a little bittersweet, but you can still find me on Twitter. I'm actually in the process of designing a visual novel. I design all kinds of games, and Anya of the Challenge Fields, which is about a Ukrainian potato farmer. And it's got all the anime bullshit. But thank you all so much. 7 years in AP, actively participating every week, over 1,500 broadcasts on over 40 Twitch channels. So it is time to step away for a while.
It's been wonderful having you.
Thank you for all the stories and wonderful things you've given us, Grant. It's been amazing.
Yeah, and thank you for always, inviting along some of the coolest people, whether you've gotten the chance to play with them or not.
Mm-hmm.
Touched a lot of people, mate.
Yeah.
Elf, what are you up to?
Hello, friends. I'm Distracted Elf. You can find me at twitch.tv/DistractedElf or on Twitter at DistractedElf. Mostly, I run games for Roll20 at the moment. I'm running I'm going to be playing in a D&D game on Mondays on D&D's channel at 1 p.m. PST for Candlekeep Mysteries, and at the same time on Thursdays and Fridays on my own channel, I run things for Star Wars Desperate Gamble and Edge of the Empire campaign.
Right, and Werewolf, where can we find you?
Oh, good grief. This is going to be a long list. The places you can find me are quite easy. First of all, hi, my name is Dwindle Kadiri. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me online at Werewolf Feels, and yes, you can call me Werewolf. That's pretty much all the social medias that matter. If you don't really want to follow me, you should. Just click on my card link inside my Twitter profile, and that'll take you to the list, the very long list of everything that I do and can announce, including links to all the stuff. If you like actual play, first, if you like writing, there is going to be a Kickstarter coming out in September, and this is another reason why you should follow me on Twitter, because something exciting is happening. I'm writing for another horror project, and there's also a lot more on the way. If you like actual play, there's a couple things I'm in right now. Monster Hearts is a thing that's happening. You can follow me on Twitter to learn more about that. D&D is coming up soon. That's right, me finally in a D&D 5e campaign. Who would have thought it? It's just been announced. Alabaster Kingdom, which is a D&D 5e campaign, horror-based, because apparently I have a shtick, is going to be coming up very soon in the month of September. So again, another reason to follow. And follow Alabaster Kingdom on the Twitter. There is a podcast that's actually using one of my settings that I wrote for Monster Hearts that I'm really proud of. So if you could follow @WellSeasoned Stories and support them. I'm not actually involved with it, but it really would mean the world to me, because people using my writing warms my soul. There's other secrets along the way. Who knows? Maybe I'll show up on Roll For It again. But wherever I go, I hope y'all follow, because y'all have been really cool. I see you, chat. I see you.
And Blythe, where can we find you?
Hello, everybody. God, that was really fun. Thank you, Grant, for running that, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. It was a really good time. You can find me across the internets, Twitters, Instagrams, all that under BlytheKala93. That's BLYTHEKALA93. You can currently find me. Well, this was the last episode of this, and the last episode of Happy Jack's RPG Stone Top campaign Mondays at 7:30 is coming up very soon. Come see if I murder my fiance or not. It's gonna be exciting.
That's a quotable quote right there.
Other than that, you can find. You go to my Twitter. I always have stuff about what I'm doing, and you can watch like past broadcasts of things I've done. So follow me for shenanigans and lots of Star Wars.
And of course, KP11. What are you up to?
Hey everyone, I'm KP of KP11 Studios. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram as KP11 Studios. I am a cosplay photographer. I do a lot of cosplay / portrait photography. If any of that interests you, come join me on either my Twitter or IG. I have some amazing, fun shoots lined up that are going to be up. I also do live play TTRPGs. I'll be on tomorrow on Paradise RPG's channel for Jasper Games. We're playing a level 6 game of D&D, 5th edition. And I'll be playing a really fun character that I created yesterday, and I loved him so much that I'm literally playing him again on another Jasper's game back to back, simply because I just enjoy him. He's a brown elf rogue named... why am I forgetting names right now? Oh, man, Azad. Sorry, it's been a long day. Yeah, Azad, which means free in my language. So, I try to insert a lot of my culture, my traditions into the characters I make. So if you want to catch some of that, check me out over there. And yeah, a lot of things lined up. Just come check me out on Twitter, and you'll catch it all.
All right, let's go through the announcements. Today's supporter was Paul Toon. Thank you very much, Paul Toon, for supporting the finale of our show. And the stuff happening on the Patreon, the monthly recap for June is out. The character sheet for Pietro from Ascension is also out. We're sponsored by Roll20. Don't forget, check out on our Twitter for the latest pinned posts that we usually have the details of whatever giveaways we've got going. I believe we've got coming up some World of Darkness things to keep in theme with the coming Mage show. Which is the next announcement. There's a Mage show coming. We're going to have a 2-week break on Saturday, and then we're going to start with our new show on August the 14th. I think that's how dates work. I'll give you a little sneak look at the teaser again while we're in the break before the after show. And also, tomorrow you can catch a new guest cast on our Sunday show, The Last Ditch, which consists of Unmade Gaming, Wandering DM, and Splattercat Gaming on his final return to Rollfred after a very long time away. And of course, as of a couple of minutes ago, you can now check out the MP3 and the after show for our latest episode of Ascension on the Patreon. Okay. I think that's all the things. I'm going to take us to a break for a little minute, and then we'll be back with our live after show to wrap up everything for this cast. See you in a minute.
A little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned, where I